Please. Don't do this. Just let it go. I promise you. I promise you. I can figure out how to get whatever you want. Please. Listen to me. Listen to me. I want to help you. I want to help you get whatever you want. But you got to do what's right. What you know is right. No. No. No.
Done.
Lovely weather outside today, isn't it? We got some like Seattle weather in New Jersey.
Did you know that rain is full of vitamin B6?
Okay, now the reason Ralph is saying rain is full of vitamin B6, when he got here, I was inside the house still, and I come out and he has an empty sake glass that he is filling with rainwater. And
oh,
I'm
it's
like,
B12. It's B12.
And okay, sorry. Oh, excuse me. All the vitamins in rainwater. He goes. I go to him. I just see him filling it. I'm like, you're not drinking rainwater, and neither am I. And then I'm like, what about drinking piss? And he stops for a minute. And he goes, I think I drank piss once before, but he doesn't remember how, when,
I said I don't know if I did, but knowing me, I feel like I probably did at one point.
I don't think that's something to be proud of, that you think you may have drank piss at some point.
I'm an adventurous guy.
That's not adventurous. That's
But like, I'm not even seeing in like a like. It probably was like a very. Never mind.
All right, so
no, that's the thing. Like, I could just see me going like, I wonder what this tastes like.
You might hear a third voice in the back of
You might hear
a third voice, rather a sad, pathetic, lonely.
Living.
So that third sad, pathetic, dying alone voice that you hear is our good friend Richy Connolly Randazzo. Richy, what's going on, dude?
Not much. How about you guys, man?
It's good, man. It's good to finally have you on here. And
good to be on.
The poll that I ran yesterday.
Stop being so fucking casual.
This is just who he is.
But look at him. He's like he's
he's hanging out. Yeah. Did you burn a little bit before you came here?
Oh yeah, of course. Dude,
he's got the attitude.
That explains
He's
it.
got the attitude of like, I don't care if they even let me on the show. I'm just gonna go my own way.
Want to have a good time, relax, enjoy it.
So Richy, do you have anything that you want to? Let's change it up a little bit. Do you have anything that you want to talk about right off the bat? Because I have something. If you don't,
no, you guys can go
all right,
first.
so I'm going to tell you guys.
Yeah,
thanks, Richy. We're going to jump right in, and I'm going to tell you guys about a story.
List.
I have notes. I have notes.
Show prep.
Yeah, it's called prepping for a show.
Not everyone just kind of hitchhikes through life the way you do.
Yeah. He's at work one day, and the next day he's like, I'm going away for a week and a half on vacation. Doesn't tell anyone.
Dude, that's the way you got to be.
No, it's not. When you buy Mets tickets to go to a game with someone, and then you're like, I'm going to Europe with your.
Okay, that was last minute. That was like crazy
his stupid
last
Facebook
minute.
is like, I love to travel, thinking like the thing that's keeping everyone from happiness is just blowing off the responsibility
and spending their life savings on trips.
No, dude, for real, I'm smart with that. Like,
no, you're not.
No, I do all like the Airbnb.
No, he like travels like super cheap.
Dude,
I know
I
that.
could
carry-on bag.
Like a hotel is like, dude, I just need a place to sleep and shower and use the bathroom. Other than that,
nowhere
dude,
to shit. He just
don't
goes
care.
in a corner.
Yeah, dude, you can shit in the woods.
I know you probably have plenty of times.
2 pairs of underwears and a bag of graham crackers.
Did you say underwears?
My friend and I, we went to Cleveland once.
Okay.
So,
wow, that's a far trip.
Cleveland rocks.
Jets game. We decided not to book a hotel. So we get there, we're like, all
Not
right,
the
we
right
need
state
to
to
book
do
a
that in.
hotel. So we're going around, and like he's like, yo, this one place looks nice, and it says $90 a night. So we go and check it out, and it ends up being $300.
300?
So, yeah, 300. So I was like, you know what, we're gonna decide to go somewhere else. And I mean, we go like kind of on the outskirts of Cleveland.
Okay.
Do we pull in, and this hotel is like sleazy? Like,
yeah,
dude, it's run
It
down.
was sleazy the second you walked in.
So we go in. Dude, it was like $30 a night, so we get it. You go in the,
oh my God, $30 a night.
You go in the elevator. It doesn't even have a certified sign. It just goes check for it in the office. So I was like, right away, I'm like, dude, this is like,
you can't
this
take
is
that
disgusting.
elevator.
So we go in the room, dude. The room was so disgusting. Like, dude, I slept on top of the bed in full clothes. Like, I didn't want any of my skin.
Oh man, I wish
touching
you
it.
had a black light. It would look like a map
God.
of the world.
Dude, the sink had like all toothpaste still in it. Dude, the bathroom tub floor was like rotten.
Do you know where he stayed? He Airbnb'd at Ariel Castro's house.
Dude, but it was like, dude, I was like, dude, it was cheap, and that was the way to do it.
Well, that's
man.
how you usually do it.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
So, the story I want to get into, I don't know, I saw this in the news yesterday, and it's about a guy named Glenn. He had a pretty shit life. He lost his family in a house fire, which is absolutely insane, and It's a real redemption story. Lost his family in a house fire. Only his brother survived. He was actually thought to have perished in the fire, which is pretty wild. And he came back out years later and confronted his brother, saying that I think you set the fire, you killed our parents, only to find out that the guy that he thought was their father wasn't. And the man I'm talking about is Glenn Jacobs, also known as Kane, who is now the mayor of Knox County, Tennessee.
Yeah.
WWE legend and future Hall of Famer Kane, an absolute burn victim who had to speak through a voice box for the first 20 years of his life after the fire.
It's funny how he miraculously recovered when he was
a
for
burn
this
face and it was gone like a week later.
It just goes to show you that in the WWE, anything is possible. Think about this. We now have a mayor who is going to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. The president of the United States is in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Right?
The former governor of California, Arnold Schwarzenegger, is in the WWE Hall of Fame. Pete Rose is in the WWE Hall of Fame.
That's the only Hall of Fame he's got.
And you know why? Do you know why Pete Rose is in the Hall of Fame? From one, Glenn Kane Jacobs, who beat him up at like 4 straight SummerSlams.
Jesse the Body Ventura.
Yeah. Well, he's in for wrestling reasons, Jesse, but he was also a future governor, an ex-Navy SEAL.
Oh, yeah, man. He's crazy.
He's out of his mind. So, I mean, listen, I know Ralph isn't a wrestling fan.
But I was following this story.
But it's cool to see like a guy, and everyone that's ever been in the business and worked with Kane say he's like one of the most genuinely smart people
he is
you'll ever
still scary.
Oh,
though.
He's 7 feet tall. He's
huge.
And he's one of these guys. He's never had like long layoffs in wrestling, like bad injuries. Him and The Undertaker both always kind of hung around. They would work through injuries. So it's actually, when Kane first came into WWE, he was given 2 gimmicks that I feel like you'd really like. His first one was Jerry Lawler's personal dentist.
I actually remember
Isaac Yankem DDS, and he came back as New Diesel when they were trying to keep the characters Diesel and Razor Ramon after Kevin Nash and Scott Hall went to WCW. They picked Glenn Jacobs to play Diesel, like in the gear and everything, and another guy to play Razor Ramon, and it lasted like 2 weeks before
Diesel didn't have like a mask or something. Like
I know they put him in. They put it
Boink the Clown. Doink the Clown.
There was a bunch of Doinks. There was a bunch of Sin Caras. But they literally just gave him all the Diesel clothes. He had the long hair. He did like all the same.
Did
moves.
they call him New Diesel?
No, they just called him Diesel. They advertised for weeks that Diesel and Razor Ramon were back, and people were like, "Oh my God, they're in WCW!" And then everyone's like, "What the hell is this shit?" One of the greatest flubs and missteps.
Dude, it's awesome though. You love shit like that.
Of course I
you're
do.
Like, what the fuck? But you're like, that's still cool.
I
as
like
hell.
when they do really shit that I can look back on and say, "What the fuck were they thinking?"
Like, piss you
WWE
off kind of in a way.
They do a lot of like, "Hey, what's that over there? Don't worry about it." But don't look behind the curtain.
One of their all-time great gimmicks also involves current mayor of Knox County, Kane. He impregnated a female wrestler named Lita. And
in the ring?
I know there was in the ring. They actually did happen in wrestling once. They did a lot of Edge and Lita again.
God.
So Lita got pregnant, but then she got trampled or knocked over by this wrestler named Gene Snitsky, and his whole gimmick was for weeks saying it wasn't.
Yeah, who was that again?
He was just this big goon. So
you got Diesel, Kane, The Undertaker, and Gene Snitsky.
So Gene Snitsky's gimmick after causing a miscarriage was saying it wasn't. He caused a miscarriage when he knocked over Lita. A kayfabe miscarriage.
You can't do that today.
Wait, no, it gets better. So his whole gimmick was saying it wasn't my fault, and then he comes out and does this whole thing about how he's holding like what looks like a baby, and then this guy fucking punts it. They did a miscarriage angle into a punting a baby
right?
into the
Holy
crowd
shit.
angle.
Was this poorly received?
Well, no, I guess it definitely was, but WWE has no shame because they've put it in highlight videos with the Monday Night Football music.
Dude, they do crazy stuff, man. Back then, they did not care.
Well,
what
the
they
Muhammad
did.
Hassan
Yeah,
gimmick
right?
when
Come
they
on.
right after the attacks in London, he acted like they were going to be beheading the Undertaker.
Yeah, right.
Like, and the guy Muhammad Hassan was played by an Italian
Like,
guy.
Kane did a dead body.
Oh no, Katie Vick with Triple H.
Yeah, my God.
There was a necrophilia angle. Do you know they had to talk Vince McMahon out of an incest angle with Stephanie McMahon?
Get out.
Yeah, I swear to God, they had to talk about an incest angle, which is the most believable thing about Vince McMahon you'll ever hear.
Dude, Vince making out with Trish in front of his
What's
wife,
wrong
like
with
full
that?
blown making out,
no,
dude.
and then
I'm like,
they
come
did that
on.
angle where Vince was cheating on his wife, and she became like completely what's the word I'm
Zombie
looking for?
kinda?
Comatose.
Yeah, comatose. She just sat in a chair, and he's just making out with a woman that's 30 years younger than him, like one of the most attractive female wrestlers of
God.
all time. And I don't know what goes through Vince's head, but I would love to just peer and like have an idea what was going through his head at some point in his life.
Dude, he's crazy.
All right, so why don't we go into our picks from last week before we go into some other stuff?
You go first because I actually want to segue.
Okay,
what
cool.
Mission Impossible? for
Okay,
you this
cool.
time.
So the album Ralph gave me last week was from The Weeknd The Weeknd. I'm going to call him The Weeknd because that's how it's spelled. And I actually did some research on this. It's called House of Balloons. It was his first real introduction to the music world. It was his mixtape that he just dropped. It wasn't on Spotify, Apple Music, but I found it on YouTube.
Yeah, it was free. It was a free release. I forgot about that.
First thing I'll say when I came into this album, my expectations, and this is my fault, came in very, very low because I've not liked anything I've ever heard from The Weeknd. That I Can't Feel My Face When I'm With You song is one of the most irritating pieces of shit I've ever heard in my life.
I agree with you.
So I was sitting there like, what is this going to be? And upon my first listen, I even said to Greg, I was like, this is dog shit. I'm so angry. I'm listening to this and I got to listen to it 10 more times. But once I got my initial anger out, and that's for me, I have to let the initial anger come out so I can actually let it settle. I actually kind of dug the album to an extent. It's a very uneven album for me.
100%
I think the first half, the first 4 songs specifically, are awesome. The first song to open up the album, High for This, I hated it the first time I heard it, but as I listened to it a little more, it's a really solid jam. The beat is good. His vocals and his harmonies that he gets going are usually very good when he doesn't over synthesize them. And then you go from What You Need. That one I didn't like as much. I gave that one a 2. With an album like this, I have to do the grading scale because it's not one I love start to finish. I didn't like the stadium effect vocals he did in that song. He did some really weird stuff on some songs with his vocals that just seemed out of place. Like I understand like why people try to do that. They're trying to be different, but that didn't branch out for me. But the next song, the title track, House of Balloons, I fucking loved. That was the highest graded song for me. The beat is great, and then the thing I like about it, being a long song, about halfway through, the style of it changes dramatically.
He does that a lot on the album, too.
Yeah, and that to me was like the absolute best song on here. The next one, The Morning, is a fantastic R&B song. That's as good an R&B song as you'll hear from more recent artists. There were some weird feels to this. He doesn't have the vocals of R. Kelly, but some of the songs kind of had that feel like old R. Kelly before he was pissing on 15-year-old girls.
It's not even a rap album. It's more of like a neo. I don't want to say neo soul, but more of an R&B.
It's like a hip and B album. Like it's hip hop R&B. Honestly, that's kind of how it sounds. But this is where the album started to take a turn for me. After The Morning, which I liked, I got to Wicked Games, which it was boring. It was generic. I gave that one a 1.5. I did like The Party and the After Party, the next song. Listening to the lyrics, he told a very good story about meeting someone at a party, meeting a girl at a party, and then going to an after. Like the lyrics actually tell a very good story, and this is where the album shits the bed for me after that. Coming Down, I gave a 0. There was nothing redeemable about that song. I fucking despised it. I was like, that was where I was like, I'm kind of digging this. I can deal with a couple bad songs, and then I actually, after like my 5th listen, I had to start skipping over that one. Loft Music, I like the beat. It's a very raw beat, but the lyrics are fucking heavy-handed when he starts saying I feel retarded over and over again. Like, okay, we get it, you could say it once, but it didn't really work well for the Black Eyed Peas with Let's Get Retarded.
He was right on the cusp of when you were allowed to say that.
Yeah, like the Black Eyed Peas started like where you couldn't say it in songs.
He's like, this is gonna be bad in a while, I'm just gonna get it all out now.
Of the way.
Yeah, and then the last track, The Knowing, I gave a 1. Again,
wait, what about Glass Table Girls?
That wasn't on the playlist of the original mixtape.
They might have. Here's the thing. The album has different track listings for the same
the
song.
original one I
So
found,
actually,
the original cut only had 9 songs on it of the mixtape. So maybe I have to go back and listen, but what I heard, again, a very uneven album. The first half of the album, the songs I liked, I'd give a 3.5, and then the back half I'd give like a 1. So I guess this has to be like a 2. I guess I got to give the album a 2. If you really do like anything, like, I understand why people like that shit, like I Can't Feel My Face With You. That was a radio song.
You're not going to see this on this album, really.
Yeah, you're not going to see that on here, but the guy is clearly very talented. I believe he produces himself to an extent, too. He mixes a lot of it.
I think this album was basically him and maybe like a small indie label. Like I don't even know if it had a label.
It didn't know. It just dropped, and no one really heard of him. It received critical acclaim. I can see why, in some senses. Again, that song "House of Balloons" is straight fire. I think that's a great song.
That's Glass Table Girls.
Oh, but House of Balloons.
Yeah, sometimes it's
I think that's the second half when he changes the style. Yeah, I just
Table
wrote House of Balloons because I'm trying to save room.
That's by far my favorite song
on a legal pad. But no, it's I mean, a 2 is fair for something that I thought I was gonna hate. There's a couple songs in here I threw on my own personal playlist, and I'll actually go back and listen to them. So, The Weeknd, House of Balloons. If you haven't heard it, you're into that R&B, hip hop, electronic kind of sound, I guess you could say. There's even like an industrial sound in some songs. It's very experimental. Yeah, no. So I'll give it a 2. Again, there were some songs I really, really enjoyed, and some stuff that just left me thinking, what the hell am I doing with my life?
I just thought it was how the album came about was cool, and it disappoints me of what The Weeknd became, because he was my favorite artist just based off this one album. for a while, and then he became this like Michael Jackson, Kanye. I don't even know what he is. He's
it definitely has like some like Rock With You, like Michael Jackson Rock With You kind of sound to it.
When you see the album, going back to the album covers that we talked about, that album cover fits the album
absolutely.
perfectly. This like grimy, dark, dream-like. I thought everything about the album. Granted, it's uneven. It's not a great album.
No, but for your first venture, an introduction to everyone with this.
It should be his last venture.
He should also cut his stupid fucking hair. That fucking.
No one knew what he looked like when he came out.
Yeah, but now you can see his dumb hair, and people are like, "Oh, he's such a original. He's such an individual."
His hair looks like a volcano.
It looks like when you get like a sundae at Dairy Queen, like and there's like graham crackers sticking out of it.
Let's get Dairy Queen.
Let's get Blizzards, or you want to get Grill and Chill.
Oh,
I got Grill and Chill when I was on vacation. Like, have you had Dairy Queen's food, Richie? Like,
no, hell no, I will not eat that.
Dairy
No.
Queen's food is
great. No, I can't do the fast food.
You can't
crap,
do any
man.
fast food. Wait, none? I've seen you eat like $30 worth of
like
Taco
maybe probably
Bell.
once in a blue moon, but like, dude, if I do it a lot, my stomach.
You don't
like,
eat vegetables.
A lot.
I try to eat healthy, so like it's kind of. Like,
Remember the White Castle night at Greg's? That you weren't there for that
dude,
one.
we were all like, yeah, and
When
then
we
like
got
20 minutes, everyone just got dead quiet.
I remember you
man.
watching me because I ate like 17 sliders and then a bunch of chicken rings, and then Josh brought those little tubs of juice, like the ones that are just pure sugar.
Oh, Hugs.
Yeah, Hugs. He brought
Dude,
those,
it
and
was
they're
so
literally just
bad.
drinking like corn
Didn't
syrup.
we drink those up in
Yes, we did. We were doing poppers. That's not good. So again, the Weeknd, House of Balloons, a 2 out of 5. I did enjoy it for the most part. So
it was better than you expected.
yeah,
right?
no, especially with how my expectations came in, and I'm glad that I didn't just instantly label it on my first listen, which is why I listened to each album you give me like 10 to 15 times. I try to do like a bunch in the office and then a bunch on a drive because again, I really like gauging an album when I'm in the car, and that's all I can focus on. Because in the car, I'm generally just listening to sports radio for the most part. So why don't we go into the movie I gave you last week? And Richie, did you do your homework? Did you watch it?
He watched it last night.
It was
the first
actually
time you ever saw it?
Yeah.
It was on TV last night when I got home too.
On Amazon.
I couldn't believe it. It was on regular TV. So,
so
why don't we go into what
out,
Ralph thinks of it first, and then we'll go into you, and then we'll have some discussion. So Mission Impossible 3.
Mission Impossible 3. I saw the first 2 Mission Impossibles. I saw them like when I was like little though. So
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's not like.
But with the first 2, you really don't need to see them to understand what's going on in 3.
I feel like I could see Mission Impossible. What is it? 6 now? 7? Like
no, you would honestly have to see the other. This is the first time they're really tying them together, which I kind of like in some ways because Ethan Hunt's character was only just a.
By the way, I kept calling him Ethan Hawke,
the actor. When you watch a Training Day.
So it was fun. It was okay. And I know that's kind of a simplified, but that's how I felt. I was like, it's a fun movie. I liked it. I really didn't have any strong emotions one way or the other, but for what it is, it's a simple movie. It's an action movie.
Just an action time against you're racing against the clock action movie.
I feel like it had a lot of James Bond in it.
Yeah,
which
of course
is part of that spy.
Yeah, of course.
Definitely takes a back seat to some of the better Bond movies.
Oh
so
yeah,
there were a few times where I said I wish I was watching, like Casino Royale.
Yeah,
or something
Casino
like that.
Royale and Skyfall. I'll put on any time.
It's fun. It was okay. Fiance can attest. I called the twist.
Of course. Wait, which twist are you talking about?
Both of them.
What, that it was the Billy Cundrip?
So this is what it was when. The beginning when he's like lecturing them and Lawrence Fishburne's just being a fucking
yeah.
I'm like, okay, he's involved in it. And then once they start like laying it on thick that he's involved in it, I go, okay, he's not involved in it.
Yeah, it's
the
too
guy
obvious.
being the friend is actually involved.
Yeah,
I called it. I'm like,
that's That's Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen, the guy that was that double crossed him. That's Dr. Manhattan.
His character was like John something, I thought.
Yeah, it's something like that.
It was like unfortunately, I don't have a lot to say about because it's a simple movie.
It's what you were expecting.
It was
of
what I expected. I enjoyed it.
It was fun.
It was a little tense, but you knew he was going to survive. You knew
Correct,
everyone was going to be all right.
Yeah. Philip Seymour Hoffman.
I'll tell you this: you hyped up Philip Seymour Hoffman a lot. He was okay.
No, this is what you have to understand with the.
So wait, let me
go ahead.
And I'll tell you why. The character did play that I'm constantly in control, like almost like that Kaiser Soze.
Yeah.
But he didn't really. It was just. It could have been anyone. I feel like Philip Seymour Hoffman could have put a spin on it.
So
I liked him.
So this is
okay.
the reason I like him in this specifically as a villain, and I wrote this in the review on youwatchilisten.com. in every other Mission Impossible movie, the villain is your typical Bond villain. They want world domination, they want money, they want this, they want that. Philip Seymour Hoffman's character is the first one to make it personal and go after Ethan Hunt. This is the first Mission Impossible movie that gives you layers to Ethan Hunt's character and personality, because every other time it's the mission, he meets a girl along the way, blah, blah, blah. This one, it pulled back the curtain and brought it bled into his real life, which they had never shown. And every other villain was not able to do that because it's the writing as well, but specifically the scene that I love Philip Seymour Hoffman in, there's two. When he's on the plane and he tells him, like, when he holds him out and he tells him his name, and then that interrogation scene I think is fucking fantastic. They open with it and then it's at the end.
Yeah, that's what made me like it. Ralph, I kind of wish I saw more from him, but how they started it, I was just like, holy crap.
Shit. And then at the end when he's screaming at him, and then the mask twist ends up being the thing.
But I like the thing you said with the plane too, when he pulls him back up, he looks at him and goes, Ethan, like he knows his name, and he kind of looked at him like, holy crap, he knows my personal
love that
life.
Bridge scene when the drone is coming around.
Yeah. It's a fun movie.
Yeah, it's exactly what you expect of it.
I'll tell you this. There's a lot of plot holes.
Yeah, of course.
And finally,
any spy movie.
And I go,
fucking Skyfall's the best Bond movie, and it turns into Home Alone at the end.
I go, okay, man. You can't hold the plot holes against it unless they're glaring. I have one that I was I was rolling in my bed angry about.
Which one?
The final scene when she finds out that he's a spy and like he takes her to work to visit his work, and like she has the name tag, like the fucking
like a normal job.
Like what did you have to do? Give her keys at the front desk, and they're like, okay, but make sure to give this.
So the thing I'll say with that, I've never actually even picked up on that, maybe because I've seen all the other ones.
When they're like, oh, you're the fiance. Oh, we hope it's all good.
I think if you see the other ones, that won't be a plot hole anymore, because
it's not even a plot hole. It's just
I understand it's something annoying because her character becomes a recurring character, or a recurring theme, I guess you could say, and specifically because of the events of this movie.
I was wondering if she was in the other ones, like
and
if she dies
I mean,
or not or
I'm
something.
one of the few that three before this most recent one was my favorite, because most everyone would agree that they've gotten better and better. Like Ghost Protocol, critical acclaim, like across the board. Mission Impossible 3 was very positively received, but there were some people that were around the same lines. It was what I expected. Ghost Protocol raised the stakes. Then Rogue Nation raised the stakes and turned it around. And this most recent one, and again, I've said a couple times, but everyone's saying like there has not been an action movie like this in a long time, because unlike 3, it has the most intense action sequences. There's 3 specifically that are just breathtaking. They raise the bar. It's very Dark Knight like, the new one, actually.
Yeah, see, I like that too. A lot of action.
It's like a lot of continuous shots rather than cutting from scene to scene or straight on shots. The scene that everyone's seen in the trailer is when he's hanging from the helicopter. And the thing I like about that is when you do those kind of helicopter scenes, you usually get like the panoramic shot. They just shot it straight down as he's dangling, and Tom Cruise was actually fucking dangling.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
Guys who do their own stunts are assholes.
Oh yeah, they put people out of work.
Yeah, right.
Like, fuck you.
Well, but at least with Tom Cruise, we know he's an asshole.
Yeah, right.
Like we know.
That's like I hate him, but he's a good actor. I can't hold that against him. Like in real life, I'm like, dude, he's a piece of shit. I hope he dies.
So let me ask you, what was your grade on it before we ask Richie how he felt about the movie?
2.5.
Okay, so that's about fair.
Okay.
That's about fair. I do hope you take the time to watch the other ones.
I'll tell you this, and this is kind of my next topic. If we could just segue a little, when I watch a movie like this, and I really enjoy it, I put myself in afterwards like a little kid. Like, it'd be so fun to be a spy. It'd be so fun to be a Jedi.
I want to do that mask shit. I want to wear those masks.
Yeah, the mask was cool. Like,
I like when they kidnap Owen Davian and they're like right underneath him. He's like, "What's up?"
The scene in the bathroom was my favorite.
That was
scene.
We had to stay quiet.
Those scenes when they can create tension without it being high stakes are the best parts of the Mission Impossible movies. When it's like not life or death, but it's like you might get caught. Like in the original one when he's like dangling and he's about to touch the floor. And the knife falls and gets stuck. That shit's. I love those scenes.
So
like
what I was thinking is, when I really like a movie, I'm like, I wish I could die right now and be reincarnated into this universe. Like, I want to be a secret spy. I want
like Ready Player One kind of stuff.
Yeah, I like that stuff. So my question is, when you watch these jobs, and I want to talk about the real, not a real secret agent, not a real spy, but like a fantasy job.
Sure.
What would be your favorite thing to be a part of? Like, would you want to be a secret agent? Like, when I watch Archer, I want to be Archer in Archer's world.
A hot dog vendor.
Hot dog, good one.
Hot dog vendor.
Richie, what would your dream?
Do you know the phrase "yes and"?
No, legitimately, probably like a professional wrestler. I feel like that'd be the most fun.
Yeah,
you meet a lot of people, get to travel the world.
Like,
or maybe a manager. Like I'd want to be like Bobby the Brain Heenan.
So you could just chill half the time, not even
cheap shots.
Not the wrestler of the movie.
No,
with,
but like a professional.
Like what you thought wrestling was when you were a little kid.
Yeah, I want to be like superhuman.
Yeah,
like where I thought like hulking up was a real thing. Like I get punched and I'm just like,
it's like
the
you're
Japanese
roiding
guy
out.
who gets grabbed by the dick and he starts flexing and the guy goes flying.
That's not a Japanese guy. That is Joey Ryan.
Oh,
that's his finishing move. He grabs him and he goes like this, and then he makes him flip.
Right.
There's videos online of like five people grabbing dicks, and then he goes like that. And he did it to Mick Foley one time.
I like how like everyone like laughs, like they know it's fake. Like,
but that wrestling. There's wrestling that's supposed to be like more serious and then just pure entertainment. And Joey Ryan is fantastic at entertaining. So, what would your dream profession be? I said a wrestler. Would you want to be like a Ninja Turtle?
Yeah, probably.
You
no, something like probably like Aragon, Lord of the Rings. Man.
Oh,
dude,
going like Middle Earth.
Yeah,
Middle Earth kind of seems like it sucks though.
Huh?
Like, like I don't want to be hanging out with Urukai and orcs. They don't seem very friendly.
Yeah, but kill them, man.
You're not going to die. Like
no
one you care about's going to die.
Yeah.
Like,
what if I want someone I care about to die?
Okay,
like Richie, I'll come with you if I know you're going to die.
In our life, like the
just
worst,
be what's his name, Boromir.
Yeah, Boromir. Yeah, Sean Bean.
Yeah, dude, he dies in like every movie.
3 sea-level people in your life. Like the worst we're going to lose is like Colucci. Like
who would you rather lose, Colucci or Richie? I think at this point probably Richie, just because I've known him longer.
Yeah.
And I can get a few more years with Colucci of just like I'm not sick.
I could be fun.
Oh, you're saying Colucci can't be fun?
I don't know. I don't hang out with him a lot. No, I think he's a good time. I like him.
Here's the thing. Colucci,
I think him and I together are the best.
Yeah, the best at what? Not getting laid? Come on.
But we know how to have a good time.
Not with girls.
What good time do you guys have?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
You don't have any.
Backlash.
Yeah, when you made an ass. The wrestling pay-per-view we went to where this asshole spent. How much did you spend? $600 on merch?
I'm really good with my money, guys.
He goes to the Backlash, this asshole, and after it finishes, I want to hear Richie's take on the movie too. We go to WWE Backlash, and Richie goes up to the merch table. He buys the legitimate replica belt for $400. It was $425 that we're looking at right now that he brought for some reason.
Like a piece of shit.
He bought. Feel this thing is fucking heavy. He bought the Money in the Bank briefcase for $85. 85.
This looks like one of those little things you make as a little kid, like
no
make your own.
That's
the real one,
man.
It's not the real one. It's a replica. It's like My Little Pony for boys.
Get hit in the head with it.
Yeah,
that's how it feels.
Yeah.
I'll dent it.
Oh no, you won't.
Nah.
Wait, would that be a good video if we get to hit you in the head with it? No, we want to hit you in the head with it, like an actual foreign object,
like full blown.
Yeah, all right.
Well, you'll let us hit you in the head with it?
Yeah.
All right, we'll do that in a little bit. So Ralph's going to take a championship belt to the dome. Yeah, we're not going to pummel you.
Yeah.
I don't trust you.
One from each of us, right?
So he bought so he bought the championship belt. He bought the Money in the Bank briefcase for $85. He bought the Roman Reigns vest. And then the Roman Reigns glove.
The
and then
vest
he bought
was $50. The glove I think was like
25 or something.
And
then he bought
like
the goggles for a female wrestler, Becky Lynch, that no one it didn't make sense with the rest of the costume. He changes into it.
How old are you?
And everyone hates Roman Reigns, so that's the other problem.
That's why I bought it too. Yeah, because I know people
relate
hate
to
him.
him. Everyone hates you.
No, but like when we were online, I was like, one kid is like, "What are you getting?" I was like, "Roman Reigns vest," and he started going at me with it. He's like, "Oh, he's so horrible."
Richie, I have a question.
What's up?
What in the last 10 minutes of us talking about your purchases would imply that you're really good with your money and you can afford to travel the world? Because I have not seen anything.
I actually have an answer for you. He canceled his Jet season tickets this year.
I did.
His last row at MetLife Stadium.
I was like all the way up top, the last row. Dude, you could do crazy shit.
I know you can up there. I've seen it happen.
Oh my God, man.
So
I want to make fun of you, but I know that is tough for you.
So why did you cancel your season tickets this year anyway?
I got them because a part of it was like, I wasn't making them like my money's worth. Like,
yeah.
Dude, I'd pay $50 to sit all the way up top, and people go to games, $15 to sit down below, and I'm like, dude, what the hell? I can't even sell my ticket.
Just picking and choosing.
Yeah,
I like how
he
cancels the season when they actually do have a future and some hope.
Yeah,
do they?
Yeah, everyone.
Like they actually have young players.
Do they? Their offense is going to stink again, probably.
And Robbie Anderson's going to get arrested again. He's going to do something
what an
stupid.
Asshole. Telling a cop he was going to come in his wife's face.
Like, dude, and then he gets cleared, and it's like they ask him,
and
like,
he can't
whole
shut the
situation.
fuck up.
Yeah, instead of being like, we're done talking about it, he's like, I ate, and I'm like, dude, just shut the fuck up.
Oh
man.
my God! So
shut up.
You'll just be buying tickets for me now for games.
Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about maybe doing season tickets one more
time, partial plan or
like
something.
Partial. Yeah, just because like honestly, I like to tailgate.
What divisions do they play this year?
This year we play the AFC East plays the NFC because last year we played the NFC South.
NFC North.
NFC North this year.
Yeah, we played in North.
And the AFC South.
Yeah, we do play the
AFC
South.
South.
Yeah, AFC South stinks. North is cool though.
Well, see, the South to me, and we're really going off topic. The South to me is such an X factor division because how healthy is Deshaun Watson? How healthy is Andrew Luck? Is Blake Bortles going to play better or worse? How good is that defense still? And then the other team, Titans, are they going to be as good as last year too?
I think it's just a lot of.
Well, they just lost Jonathan Seyfried for the season.
Right. But I feel like that division, man, you win like 6-7 games, you're like, dude, I'm good.
Yeah, I think.
And then you play the Chiefs and beat them. So
all right, so let's get back on track. What did you think of Mission Impossible 3, Richie?
Yeah, I only saw the first 2 before.
Yeah,
like
same
the first
thing.
one, I don't remember. The second one, I kind of do. I know Luther, the character he was in.
Ving Rhames is
he's the best character.
But, Ving Rhames rules. Yeah.
I like the way how they started it off. Like I was like, holy
scene.
shit, and then like obviously he goes to shoot her, and then it cuts out, and like
it's the whole
I like to think
opening.
like. You want to think like, okay, she's definitely dead, but then you're like, oh, I don't know, man. This is like this is like a spy movie. Is it going to turn around or something? So that kept me into the movie.
It's a spy movie.
Yeah, she could still be alive. There's going to be a crazy twist.
He likes the non-spy movie. Mission is possible.
But I liked, like I said, I'm not a big fan of Tom Cruise, but I thought
man.
it was good. Yeah, some of the action scenes were awesome. One scene I was kind of like is when he like snuck into the Vatican.
Oh yeah.
He like climbs up the wall in broad daylight. I'm like,
then he drops down.
Yeah, he drops down and wide
up, dude.
open.
I love it.
I'm like, dude, someone.
Twist.
I was like, for a place like that, someone definitely.
No, they were too busy fucking kids.
Yeah, right.
There it is again.
Here's the thing, though. In the movie, anytime they could just do a simple way, they're like, no, we have to.
No, Tom Cruise wants to find the most impossible way to do it.
Like,
he's like, we got to keep the name of the title here.
Yeah, right.
Like, they could have
I was like, dude, he would have been called. Like,
even when he slid down the thing. She just walked through. Like,
oh, yeah. Well, every movie had, like, a different woman, like, character.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's like the girl from the second one. I was like, what happened to her?
Well, that's the thing. The only reoccurring characters have been Tom Cruise and Ving Rhames. Ving Rhames and Tom Cruise are the only ones that have been in every single movie. And then the first one, the bad guy was John Voight, who was in the original Mission Impossible series. He was the star of that. And it was a big controversy when it came out because people are upset that they made him the bad guy because he was the star of the original show. But now Simon Pegg has been since 3. He's been in all of them. I love Simon Pegg.
Yeah,
he's one of the
right.
He's only in the movie for like basically 2 scenes.
In that one he's like a technician,
too,
and then by 4 he becomes a field agent. So he's actually out there with
that's
Tom
what I think
Cruise.
I've seen in the trailer.
Yeah.
She's like more
so
serious.
I hope you take the time to eventually watch the rest of them because some of them they just keep raising the bar. I don't think they're going to be able to top the most recent one. Anything beyond this is going to be like how Die Hard started to get.
It's kind of difficult to do that.
Yeah,
the next one's just Mission Possible.
So
he's just filling out paperwork.
Yeah. I just mentioned Die Hard, and that's going to bring me to my next thing. So I was watching the roast of Bruce Willis last night. It was okay. Jeff Ross killed. He had some lines that were just unbelievable, but then they got celebrities up there that shouldn't be doing comedy, like Dennis Rodman. Although I will say Martha Stewart has very good writers, and her delivery is very good.
She's doing the same.
The Martha Stewart, where it's like
the roast.
No,
the best people they actually know.
The best. That's the thing.
I'm like, you got to get people on a personal.
The guy
level.
that played the TSA agent in Get Out was one of the comedians. He's like, "Why'd you pick me? I don't fucking know you."
Yeah, right. I don't get that.
He told Bruce Willis and Jeff Ross they look like different stages of cancer. But Jeff Ross had a line about him. I guess he's making the Angry Birds movie.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Who are you playing, Jim Crow?" Dude, there were some lines. Jeff Ross talks about Sybil Shepherd, and he goes, "You famously had an affair with Elvis Presley, and he went down on you. So I guess a hound dog can't smell that well."
Oh.
So about going to Bruce Willis, I saw some news yesterday that I don't really know how I feel about it yet.
Oh no.
They are making a prequel to Die Hard about a young John McClane. And I guess the way they're going to do it is Bruce Willis will be playing John McClane present day, and it's going to be telling the story about how he became a cop, like his first big case, how he met his wife that hasn't really been mentioned in the most recent movies, Holly.
Do they announce who's playing?
No, but Bruce Willis is having a hand in who's playing him.
I bet it's him.
Okay, that's
him with a lot of prosthetics.
Exactly, and my hope here is it's Joseph Gordon-Levitt because he can pull that off, and they have a relationship. He was actually the roast master at this, and I think Joseph Gordon-Levitt's fantastic. So I just the last Die Hard movie that came out was so bad. A Good Day to Die Hard was the most recent one.
I think I didn't even watch
with his
it.
son in it. It was horrendous. Because the one before that, Live Free or Die Hard, I actually liked a lot. With Justin Long,
what are they up
they've
to?
had five.
Yeah. I only saw the first two.
Did you ever saw Die Hard with Vengeance with Sam Jackson? No, dude, Die Hard with Vengeance is.
I'm like, once you start going to 3, I'm kind of like it's starting.
I don't like 2. 2, I think, is just a rehab. 3, dude, I'm telling you, 3 is so funny because him and Sam Jackson together. The first scene in the movie. So the plot of the Die Hard with Vengeance is.
I'll be right back. Keep going. I'm listening.
Okay. The plot of Die Hard with Vengeance is that this terrorist specifically wants to target John McClane and make him do all these like mundane tasks, and, like all these crazy things. And the thing he tells me he has to do, where he's going to set off a bomb in a school, he has to stand in Harlem, wearing a sign that says "I hate." N.
Yeah.
And
that word.
That's the first 10 minutes of the movie, and Sam Jackson has to come out and save him. Jeremy Irons plays the villain in it. He's great. That one is so much. That's the second best Die Hard movie. Although I will say the one from.
What number is it? 3?
That's 3. Die Hard with Vengeance. If you like the first one, watch Die Hard with Vengeance. It is the most fun since the first one. But the one Live Free or Die Hard was pretty cool with Justin Long and Timothy Olyphant. That was good. The most recent one was terrible. I just don't feel like I need to see a Die Hard prequel. Like, to me, John McClane became John McClane in the Nakatomi Plaza or Tower. That's when he became John McClane. And I do have to concede a point to Ralph here that came at the end of the roast, because I've long been of the understanding that a lot of people have that Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Because the first shot in Die Hard is Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
It's the very first scene in the movie. But Bruce Willis declared at the end of the roast, Die Hard is not a Christmas movie, but he did say it's a Bruce Willis movie.
Yeah.
So that's the point. So I'm
no
gonna,
shit.
No,
yeah, right.
But he was trying to say like it's about Bruce Willis, not about anything else, because he's Bruce fucking Willis.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Don't worry about it.
But all his movies come like straight to DVD and Netflix now, anyway.
Yeah, right.
So Ralph, I have a bunch of other stuff, but let's go through anything you have.
I didn't sleep well the other night.
Why?
I saw a ghost.
No, you didn't see a ghost.
No, I did, dude.
Where'd you see a ghost?
Okay. So I'm sleeping on the couch. We got these new couches, and they're these big, like,
that you broke already. Okay.
Yeah.
The ghost broke it. Ghosts.
So
ghosts.
sleeping,
Yeah, ghosts.
And you know that I've always had sleep paralysis. It's always been like a running theme with me.
Yeah, I'm happy.
And I'm sleeping, I'm dozing off, and then I wake up, and I see someone walking by me. But I'm sleep paralysis.
You are paralyzed,
and I can't move. And I look up, and it looks like someone from Generation like X, like with like a tattered like flannel and like white hair, like Kurt Cobain hair. But clearly it's a
Kurt
guy.
Cobain's hair is red.
And he's
Yeah, I was gonna say, wait, what was it? White?
Yeah, now it's red.
Like,
now it's red and full of chunks of brain.
Yeah.
Looks like chunky tomato soup.
and so I'm freaking out, and the thing looks at me and does like one of these, huh? like, huh? Like, what are you doing on my couch? And then walks.
Oh, the couch is haunted.
But here's the thing.
Shit.
Here's the thing.
Maybe that
walks
dude died
into
on
the
the
kitchen,
couch.
and the light turns on.
Shut up.
I fell asleep.
Yeah.
Woke back up. Told Courtney. Said, "Did you hear anything?" And she thinks I'm crazy. You know what?
I wonder why.
I saw a
right?
ghost. I saw a ghost. Kurt Cobain's brother was
Kurt Cobain's brother
was
White
in my
hair.
house.
So were you scared at this point?
I was freaking out.
Wait, Ralph, were you drinking before this?
No.
Were you smoking?
No, there was nothing.
Did you take acid?
Yeah.
You know what? I
Did you get sodomized? Like, what was happening?
no.
Did someone hit you in the
Febreze or something like
Did
that?
someone hit you in the head with
Yeah,
the
did you have a
championship
concussion?
belt?
Was your hernia
So
kicking
this
back
what
in?
happened. I was playing Morrowind, a game from 16 years
Yeah,
ago.
wow.
And I fell asleep, and the screen was on, and it said, your controller disconnected. I looked up, I saw that,
The
and
ghost
then
is playing. We switched to Skyrim.
Yeah, right?
and then I see the ghost who goes, huh?
Huh? He doesn't talk. He just
Goes-
says, "Huh?"
Goes, huh?
No noise. Like
But
nothing.
he's just like this.
Oh, just the way he opened his mouth, Ralph could tell. So.
I saw a ghost, dude.
He's a ghost whisperer.
So were you scared?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was freaking the fuck out.
Did you tell the fiance about this?
The next morning, because I quickly fell back to sleep afterwards.
I would never be able to tell the landlord about something like that, because anytime I go somewhere with her, the first thing she asks, "Do you think this place is haunted?" And I'm just like, motherfucker.
I have a haunted couch.
I don't want to think about
And the
that.
best part is, even if it was, I'm not telling you.
Yeah, right,
I'm not
no
making my
way.
life harder than it's going to be already. You're going to be scared regardless, and if I tell you haunted, you're really going to be scared.
I think it was the previous owner of the couch.
I think, yeah, he probably died on that couch.
right.
But it wasn't Cobain.
Probably
on
OD'd.
it.
Yeah, he probably some hair on. Oh, who'd you get the couches from?
They were there.
Anonymously donated.
Anonymously? Oh, yeah, so someone died on that.
Died on those.
That's like the episode of Seinfeld with the piss stain on the back.
Okay, so
he was probably doing it and died on it.
Oh, dude. So he was jacking it and he had a heart attack.
Yeah, he was about to do Ralph.
So you have his ghost cum.
So
bring Richie in, he'll swallow it.
We got it from a company that cleans out estates. I just realized.
They clean out estates?
Oh my God, it is a dead guy's couch.
Dude, yeah, definitely, man. Dude, just like weird shit happened on that couch.
Caitlin can't listen to this because she'll never want to come over now because she's gonna be like, I'm not sitting on that couch.
You have to get her to sit on it and then tell her, dude, this is like a man died on this couch.
Oh no, I got it.
Should we bring in and Ralph? It's actually kind of weird because you're not much skeptical. of a you're a skeptic on paranormal stuff.
I saw it with my own 2 eyes. He went into the kitchen, opened. I checked the refrigerator. Everything was there though.
That's fantastic. So, have you seen the ghost since?
No, but I've had trouble sleeping. I can't I keep thinking it's gonna happen. Just
well, that's the problem.
A Ouija board.
Yeah. Oh,
we should do a Ouija board. At your
Ouija
house,
board
man.
episode at your house
at night. Do the whole candles and everything.
Oh no,
that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, no.
I'm actually kind of into that because we're gonna be recording at your place pretty soon, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're gonna do an on-location episode from the fiance compound. It is the fiance compound, not the Ralph compound.
Yeah, well, maybe she should pay more than 1/3 of the rent.
Ooh, I hope she doesn't listen to this.
She knows. I use this against her head all the time.
She hated the sound of her voice on the your review of Annihilation, which was very funny.
I like how she goes, you only like Natalie Portman because she's talented. She's not even that good looking.
Okay, and okay, well,
good looking.
Like that's like people that will only watch. You're the opposite of people that will only watch a movie because the female in it is hot.
Yeah.
Like people that tell me that they like, oh, she's so hot, I have to see it. I'm like, is she getting fucked in it? Who cares?
Right, yeah, like
is she a good actress and she's hot? Sure, that's fine.
Anyway,
Portman
so in Thor 2, she was nobody.
Who?
Like Natalie Portman in Thor 2.
She's a great actress.
She's in Thor 2?
Yeah, she's in Thor 1.
Yeah,
she's in both.
Oh, that's right.
She's the love interest in Thor, and then they just act like she never happened in the rest of the Avengers movies.
I hate in the first Avengers where he just holds up a picture and he goes,
"Oh yeah,
is she okay?" And he goes, "Yeah," and then that's it.
She couldn't make a cameo, but the crazy doctor in his underwear could.
Oh yeah. I'm going to keep giving updates on the ghost. I'm gonna figure out the story.
We need ghost updates.
Yeah, right.
Now, actually, I have something that I'm going to introduce, and I teased this on Twitter. Stories that we're going to start telling about a friend of mine that I've known for a long time, and actually you guys know as well. I will not be revealing the name of this person, but there will be context clues that Richie and Ralph should be picking up on pretty shortly. So let me pull up my sheet here. Now, again, I am not using the name of this person.
Oh, wait, I got an idea. How about when me and Richie, without saying the name, when we figured out who it was, we go, okay, got it.
Okay.
Yeah, you paint the picture.
All right, so the name I gave this person is Howard Michael Kelly, 3 first names. Now, I've known this person since kindergarten. We played on Little League teams together. My dad coached both of us, a bunch of other friends' dads. Believe it or not, his grandfather worked with my family in counseling sessions and everything, so I've known the family a long time. Very intelligent individual. He is in college for quantum physics.
I think I know
he is absolutely brilliant. But he's a little like Rain Man.
Got it.
He's like Rain Man.
Wait. So, can I write it
down? Yeah, go ahead. Write it down. You guys got it. Okay, and people that know us and know our friend group will also know who this is because this person, in the limited times that they've been around him.
This is a good one.
Yeah, so...
Wait, I'm going to say something.
Yeah, go for it.
Listeners, buckle up.
Buckle up.
Yeah, right.
So I think the best story to introduce this person here, just to give you the dynamic of how odd he is, it's Howard Michael Kelly. So he, for years, was telling me about... There's actually 2 stories in here. I've been pushing him like I push Richie and some other people about, why don't you go get laid? Why don't you go get a girl? All those kind of things. And he would never reply. So finally, one night, we got it. He actually told us that he has had sex. He did lose his virginity, and he lost it to a midget stripper. And I did not believe that until I met some friends that I had never met before. It said, yes, it was from a strip club. He went home with a little person, and he had sex with her. But it turns out that wasn't who he lost his virginity to. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about his backstory. So Howard Michael Kelly was raised by his grandparents. Unfortunately, he had a very fortunate thing happen with his parents. His grandparents raised him, much older people, and they in turn decided to adopt 3 African-American children. who are all siblings in real life. And so in this dynamic, he was the oldest one, Howard Michael Kelly, but the adopted children were like they were younger than him. Age-wise, it was like siblings. Like he was the older brother, but legally,
they would be technically his
it's his aunts and uncles, 2 girls, 1 boy. So they were like his brother uncle and his sister aunt, because like he would say brother or sisters, but truthfully, it's your aunts and uncles. So on my birthday, it was my birthday. I remember this very well. We were out drinking. It's like my 21st birthday, maybe 22nd, and he starts like talking about it, and he reveals to us that he lost his virginity to the oldest of the adopted children, his sister aunt.
Oh no!
So
some hillbilly stuff.
I mean, but like I'm looking at it like one of 2 ways. Like on paper, when I say he had sex with his aunt, it sounds bad. I say he had sex with his sister. It sounds worse. But legally. And legally, it's like that, but genetically, they have nothing related at all.
You look more at the story or personal.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, they make pornos about this kind of stuff, and he lived it. Like he's the inspiration for this.
But here's the thing: knowing this person, any of the enjoyment that you would get out of it being erotic is lost.
Yeah, well, because he's not much to look at. Yeah. This guy has fluctuated in weight throughout the years. He was tiny to huge to tiny to huge to
but like sickly tiny, not like
he would look at like anemic. So I'll tell you, this will be the last story I tell. I literally have pages of stories about him, and actually one that's like the longest, it's 10 stories from one night. So he's telling me just the other night, he was talking to me that he goes through like binges of just eating cake, and he had he went into diabetic shock recently because he ate an entire German chocolate
cake. He's got diabetes?
I was like, "Do you have diabetes?" Like, "Oh, I guess so." He had to go to the hospital. He ate an entire. He bought like a big ass German chocolate cake, and he ate it all in one sitting, and he got himself like super sick.
Hell yeah!
So Howard Michael Kelly, he lost his virginity to his sister aunt, and I've told that I wanted to put that story out there because people in my friends group have heard this story about this person, and they will be able to figure out who this is pretty quickly. For everyone else, you will never know who this person is unless somehow this person comes on, and even then we may use the alias because I'm not the one to blow up someone's spot.
What's the name again? Howie?
Howard Michael Kelly.
I'm just going to say Howie.
That works because some people...
Howie actually is very fitting to this person.
Yeah, and the only other context clue I can give you here is the reason it's Howard Michael Kelly is that this person's real name, his full name, is three first names. So I had to get creative.
You know him by the middle name. I know him by the...
I know. It's
I have a nickname for him.
Well, everyone did. Really my favorite, Chodo Baggins. Stump Dick. So you're going to hear some really weird but funny kind of stuff about him.
By the way, both me and Dan have a good amount with this.
Yeah, and I got a bunch from Mike White as well, who has multiple stories. A lot of the stories, like I gave Mike the list, and he's like, "You got a lot of them, but I have a few more." There's people I got to reach out to. There's some really, really good ones. I don't know if you wanted to share one. If you had any others, or we just want to leave it at this one.
I'm gonna just share. Let's just do an intro because mine. I have a few that weave in and out of the night in question.
Okay.
Is it the night that you're talking about? The one
when you drove him home?
Yeah.
No, that is a different night I'm talking about.
So if you has a few questions.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna wait.
Okay, we'll wait.
Now, let me.
Do you have a Howard story? A Howie story?
Like one, it's not like crazy. But
what did he do? Let me just.
He crashed at my house, and it was me and 2 other people.
Okay.
And the entire night he would like not shut the fuck up.
Oh,
like,
I've been there.
Talk. So we were like, I had a foosball table, so I was like, "Yo, Howie, if I beat you, will you shut up?" And he goes, "Yeah, okay, of course." So we go and play, and I beat him. So he won't shut up, and he starts talking smack to one of the other kids.
Of course he is.
So the other kid plays him in foosball and beats him. So then he stops and he talks smack to the third person. The other third person's like, "Dude, I'll play you if I beat you. Shut up." He goes, "Okay." So he beats him. He comes back, and next time he's just like, "Hey guys, you want to wrestle?" And like, so we like absolutely kicked the shit out of him.
Oh yeah.
For a good like hour because he wouldn't shut up. Finally, he just goes, "Hey Richie," he's like, "Can I have some ice cream?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll go get you some." I get him some. Dude, he ate the bowl. He legit was like, "Thanks, Rich. I appreciate it." Lay down. Dude, passed the fuck out. So we were all like, dude, all we had to do was feed this fucker for like 2 hours. We were trying to make him shut up. Dude, the ice cream, knocked him the fuck out.
There's a lot of weird food things with Howie
but
here.
dude, we were like putting him in arm bars. We were punching him in the face.
I used to beat the shit out of him.
Going at it, man.
I got a story.
All right.
Okay. It involves someone else. Let me describe this person because I don't want to bring this person's name into it. Guy that we went to high school with is about 5 foot, maybe weighs 80 pounds. Could pass as a preteen boy.
Brian Heacock?
No.
Wait, that's who I have.
5'10", passes a preteen boy.
Give me the pad.
Yeah,
Wait, explain it again.
This
Who
makes
is
that
it?
person look good.
It's not MVB, is it?
No.
I hate that kid.
Oh.
I'll tell you. Okay, while I'm writing this out, this is actually, it's not written down, but it's about Howard Michael Kelly and this kid MVB who I can't stand. I took Howard Michael Kelly. Oh yeah. I took Howard Michael Kelly. I took Howard Michael Kelly's phone and I started texting MVB as Howie, and I said, "Hey man, I need a ride from ShopRite. Can you come pick me up?" "No, dude, I'm really busy. I can't. Please, I don't have a way to get home." I just kept begging him from Howie's phone for like 20 minutes. He's like, "All right, I'm gonna come get you." So he goes and he texts him. He's like, "Where are you?" And I go, "I'm at Warwick ShopRite." And Warwick's about 15 minutes from.
God.
So then he goes up to Warwick ShopRite, and I turn off Howie's phone. So he disowned him after that.
Oh, dude.
I know that's a real bully move, isn't it?
That's fucking hilarious.
We were at a Super Bowl party
With this little guy,
and for whatever reasons, Howie was invited, and also invited was. Let's call him Sammy.
Sammy. Okay, I like it.
Sammy is about 4'10" and weighs about 80 pounds. Literally looks like a boy. Nothing's wrong with him. He just never went through puberty. Howie ate a ton, an uncomfortable amount of queso dip, to the point where it was just all over his face and his beard and his horrible hair, just a mess. Then he got up in the middle of the Super Bowl and just beeline into the bathroom. Like, he waited until the last second to release his bowels. Goes in there, comes out about 25 minutes later. He was struggling. The door opens, and it's just a sea of just feces. Like, he's ruining
the shit monster from
Howie is ruining the party at this point. So Sammy, who barely knows this guy, goes, "This is not acceptable." No. So this was when Howie was like jacked.
Yeah.
So Sammy goes, "You're not doing this," and pushes him. And he goes, "What are you doing? Why are you doing this?" He's like, "No." Sammy, 4'10", cranks him,
punches him in the face,
falls him on the ground, and just starts beating on him. Pummeling him. And Howie, I learned, does not know how to defend himself.
No,
because he's
not
just
at all.
Flailing. For a kid that is that strong, he has. I've spent literally from first grade until still continuing, just beating the shit out of him.
Yeah, no self-defense at all.
Dude, I lifted him off the ground once with a kick to the balls. Like, he went up.
Sammy then goes in and gets a can of Axe that was on the counter and goes, "This is what you get." Puts it as close to his asshole as possible and just sprays. And Howie's going, "Nah!"
Okay, so before we finish off, that just made me think of a story that it's not written down, so I just need to say it quick because it involves something like Axe. So his one brother uncle was sleeping, and his brother uncle at the time had kind of like an afro. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. Oh my God.
And this was at the stage of our lives in like 7th, 8th grade that we like playing with fire. And Howie's
I know a story about that.
Howie's like, "Watch this." He goes up while his brother uncle is sleeping, takes a lighter, takes his cologne, sprays his afro with the flame ball, and it goes like scorched earth across this kid's head.
So quick.
Woke up and screamed. And my dad had to come pick me up at 2 a.m. My dad called Howie Lunchbox growing up.
Yeah, he was just.
Oh, he does look like a lunchbox.
Well, he called him Lunchbox because he was chubby like Silent Bob, and that's what Jay always called him.
Out of his house a few times.
Howie looks unwell.
All right, I want to pause really quick. I got to run inside quick, and then we'll pick right back up.
All right.
So yeah, be right back.
Why don't I just talk with Richy? And we're back. Dan's dead. So Richie's the new co-host. So.
Yeah, right. All right, now the show's really going to take off.
Oh God. Okay. And go, Richy.
What do you want to talk about?
Ball's in your court.
Nah, I don't know.
We're still recording.
I know. I don't know. We can talk about traveling. That's my big thing.
All right. Where's your next trip over to?
My next trip, I'm trying to think right now.
Richie does literally one day wake up and go, "I'm going to take a vacation that families like save for their whole life to go on."
Yeah. It's usually I love doing that last minute. I'm all about that. And like Dan says, I know people get annoyed. I don't tell anybody.
How many countries have you been to?
Well, you got the U.S. if you want to count that.
No, you don't travel to the U.S.
I've been to Canada. I've been to Puerto Rico. I've been to the Bahamas. And then I went to Europe and I did Ireland, Norway, Netherlands, and Italy.
Which was your favorite of those?
How
was Norway? I would love to go to Norway.
Norway was absolutely gorgeous. I landed in Bergen, and I did both ways. I should have just done one way, but I took a train from Bergen to Oslo. It was about like either 7 to 9 hour train ride, but it's supposed to be one of the most beautiful train rides in the world. And like, dude, it was actually start in the valley of the mountains. You work your way to the top. So as you're going up, there's snow and everything. There's rivers, and you work your way down. And it was the way there. I liked it. On the way back, I made a horrible mistake. I went out partying the night before.
So you were hungover?
So I was completely hungover. The station or the little like train part I was in was where the kids' playroom was.
Oh, no.
So there were families. Like, I'm sitting there fucking hungover trying to sleep, and there's kids screaming and everything. Eventually, I got up. I went to the dining room area and just sat in the booth and passed out there. I was like, I can't do this shit anymore.
Oh, that sucks, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, I, being hungover, like, now... Like, when I was, like, 22, a hangover was, like, you know, a minor inconvenience from 9:30 to, like, 11.
Yeah, right? Oh, yeah.
The other day, I took off from work, and me and the fiance, we drank, but we weren't, like, drinking. It was just like, hey, let's have some drinks with dinner or whatever. Like, we kind of day drank, but, like, we weren't binging. I never at one point was drunk, woke up the next day, and I felt like, you know, I got hit by a bus.
Oh,
like, I can't even handle, like, little bit of alcohol at this point.
I actually had that like 2 months ago. Me and this kid, we went out legit like it was Friday, so I was up since 5 o'clock in the morning. He came over, dude. We partied all night. We got wasted. We were playing Mario Kart at my house. So eventually he goes, "Hey, you want to go outside and smoke a cigarette?" I go, "Yeah." We go out. The sun was up. He's like, "Yo, what time is it?" And I was like, "Dude, it is 6 o'clock in the morning." So we were out partying like all night. But he's like, he was 22 or 23 years old, and obviously I'm 29, so we wanted to go to the party the next day. So he's like, yo, I'm going to go home, we'll sleep. He's like, I'll text you around 3. So at 3 o'clock, he texts me, and he's like, dude, I feel like absolute shit. And like, I wake up, and I'm like...
Who is this we're talking about?
This is me being hungover at this age.
Ralph, I have your wedding invitation for you.
Compared to the kid that's like 23 or 22 years old. So... I'm like, I wake up too, and I was like, dude, I felt like absolute shit. I was like, I can't do this. The kid's like, yo, he's like, I'm going to go shower. So
you showered with him?
No. He was home. So he showers.
You actually didn't write anything like mean on it.
No, you think I wrote it?
20 minutes later, he responds. He's like, dude, I'm ready to go. Just tell me when you're ready. So I'm like, okay. I was like, let me go shower. Dude, I showered for like 40 minutes, got out. I was like, dude, fuck this.
I'm not going anywhere.
Dude, the rest of the night, I was either on the bed or in the couch. Like, I couldn't fucking move.
Did you die on the couch and then have sell it to me?
I wish you died on it. Just like, I can't party as hard anymore. And I was kind of like, damn. And like, that's the thing. The kids I hang out with, they're like 24 or 25. So
yeah, you're the creepy old man.
Already, dude, they all think I'm their age. They're like, how old are you? It's like, I'm 29. They're like, there's no way.
Do they all make fun of you for not getting girls ever?
No, they like me, man.
You know, Richy
see, I'm kind of like, I party hard, but I'm the same dude. When they leave, I'm like, dude, text me when you get home safe, man. Like, I'm that kind of like.
I'm the one that's to say it to you sometimes. Huh? I'm the one that's to say that to you most of the time.
Dude, I'm like, fuck.
You should not be doing that.
Richy,
I mean, I've done some crazy. Like my trip in Europe, dude, I got wasted in.
You were in. Fuck Europe. You went to Mardi Gras and walked around the parade in the Borat bathing suit, and you started grinding on Westboro Baptist Church protesters.
Oh, I fucking hated them.
They had the God hates signs and shit.
I hate
those assholes.
And
he's going up with his ass out, grinding on them. And he had like 200 people ask him to take pictures. I'm like, you should have charged like $5
dude,
a head.
If I charged $1, I would have been good. Dude, I had people. There was like some lady running across the street. Like I was standing taking a picture with someone, and I hear some old lady go, "I'm gonna grab that dick." So she comes running up to me, and like I block myself.
She's sadly mistaken.
So I'm like, "No, ma'am, you can't do that." So she walks away.
Richy too.
So I'm taking a picture with someone, and I was with my friend Christina, 2 of her friends. All of a sudden, I hear him scream and go, "No, no, 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 no!" This lady came up behind me, went like this, and next you know, her hands just like cut my balls, and like she's grabbing
It's the most
them,
action Richy's had in like a year.
Shaking them, and like, dude, I smacked her hands away. Like, I kid you not, like girls were coming up just grabbing me and shit.
And
like
you still couldn't get a girl,
huh? Dude, I was okay. I have 2 stories. You gotta hear this.
No,
So
these
the
are called
first time,
excuses.
like, listen,
Yeah.
I was pretty, like, I was a little messed up, but I was pretty good. We had a shitload of beads.
Yeah, I know.
The pool was on the top story, but the way you had to do it was go to the 9th and walk up the stairs.
Okay.
So we're on the elevator. It's me, one of the girls I was with, and this older couple. We get to the 9th floor. The elevator door opens. There's 2 girls, like good-looking girls
One
and
cup.
everything. Huh?
Nothing.
So the girl goes, "Oh my God!" She's like, "You have
Don't
a lot
try
of
to inject
beads.
humor into
Can I
this
have
great
some?"
story.
So I go, "Of course." So I go to take the beads off. She goes, "Wait a minute." She goes, "Aren't I supposed to show you something to get these beads?" And like me, just so out of it, I go, "No, you're good." I put the beads on. Listen to this. Now that I realize it, there's an old couple in it. So obviously you think they would kind of be like, "What the fuck? This is disgusting." They even looked at me like, "Dude, you just blew your chance."
She offered you consensual sexual
the elevator
harassment.
door closes, and I start running to the pool. I turn around and look at the girl I'm with, and I'm like, "Oh my God!" And she goes, "Yeah, you just totally blew your moment." Like,
you should have asked her for the
oblivious.
Your
beads
life
back.
is a series of blowing moments.
But then it was when I was in the bull route outfit. This Australian girl I was talking to.
Do you know what Richie is?
She's like, "Can I, dude?"
He's a
She was like, "Can I take a
personification-
picture with you, mate?" So I was like, "Oh
Mate.
my God!" So right away, I
Good
was like,
accent.
I was like, "You're from Australia, aren't you?" And she's like, "Yeah." And like, dude, Irish accent,
And-
Australian or country accent, I fucking love that.
He's
I
like
love that on a
Bobo.
woman.
I
love it,
have a
man.
New York accent fetish.
So like, I was talking to her for a long, like, dude, we talked for like a half an hour. And dude, she was kind of like rubbing up against me and everything, and she's like, "Oh, what are you doing later?" And me not thinking, I'm like, "Oh, I'm just gonna run down the street. Maybe I'll see you later." And I was like, "Enjoy your time in New Orleans."
Richie.
You need like a shock collar, like a
Yeah.
dog.
Do you know
he
what?
was, like-
do you know what he is? He is a personification of the Jets. Like
Yeah.
if the Jets,
They're
if
almost
their
there
essence-
and they blow it.
Yeah,
His
Like,
life
I'm
is the
just
butt fumble.
I'm just like, I get into having such a good time that I'm
No,
oblivious
you live
sometimes.
the you live the butt fumble every day.
Yeah, oh
Like
my
you
God.
literally just running into ass.
Yeah.
And so let's be
Didn't
real.
the fiance run into you randomly a few weeks ago, like on a beach or something?
Who?
His fiance.
My fiance.
Oh yeah, at
I didn't hear
Point
about that.
Pleasant.
Yeah,
Yeah,
ran
we're
into
at
her?
the Tiki Bar. All I hear is Richie, and first reaction is, "Oh fuck, who is this?" I turn around and it was. I was like, "Oh,
fiance.
yeah. Oh, fiance." Sorry. Oh, sorry.
You broke
sorry.
kayfabe.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
So,
Fiance.
So when are you gonna get laid again, Richie?
Huh? I don't know, man.
How's Tinder going?
Huh? I haven't used it in a while.
Well,
honestly.
Why?
I'm the only one that gets girls to talk to him on
Yeah.
Tinder. Like every time they don't reply, and it's like the one girl I messaged her and I just said, "I promise you, I'm not a serial rapist or killer."
She actually laughed too. We were talking.
Well, because they want you to just
Richie,
like,
can I see your phone? I won't.
I don't. My phone's in the car.
What?
yeah, that's exactly why you probably got all these
When I-
women. I'm
okay.
joking. You don't have any
When
women
I got
talking to
with
me.
fiance-
There was one girl, and I kind of knew I was good because like I messaged her and I said, "Hey," and her response was like, "You have an absolutely amazing smile." So I was like,
She said that to you?
yeah. So I was like, dude,
You know she's a
one girl-
liar.
bro. Dude, honestly, everyone like a
No,
lot of
they
girls
don't.
say I have a nice smile.
You
man.
don't have a
That's
nice
what-
smile.
They feel
come
bad
on.
for you.
You're gross.
They feel bad for you. Like that's the thing. Like that's like people that we went to high school with that think because a girl's like being nice to them that they means they're gonna get it in.
Oh no, I'm not. That.
Yeah, you know you're not getting it in.
Yeah.
You picture yourself like this, like sage to the younger generation. In reality, you're just a burden.
Yeah, you.
Oh, I know I'm a burden. I always tell kids, I'm like, don't do what I do.
I
For the
told
love
you
of God.
when you die, your family's gonna be like thankful to me finally.
They'll be like, thank you.
They're gonna be like, you're the one that was an asshole to Richie
Dude,
and led
they
him to commit
Dude,
suicide.
they look at me sometimes and they're just like, Jesus Christ, what are you doing?
And really, the truth is, you are kind of well adjusted. You just have
Yeah.
no sensibility and zero game.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Somehow, you have a great lead on Colucci, and somehow he's catching up, but not because of anything he's doing, just because of you're taking a step back.
Yeah, like
downgrading.
Colucci is constantly ran in place. You are somehow going backwards.
Yeah.
You're regressing.
You're falling backwards and smiling, go like, it's okay, but it's
Yeah,
not.
like you have a
Yeah.
positive mental attitude about it.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah, I'm
And
not
eventually
like
that will lead to some type of significant other.
Hostage.
I won't say
Hostage
female,
situation.
male,
Yeah.
animal.
Blow up doll.
I mean, yeah, a blow up doll. I could totally see you having like come to your place, which none of us have ever been to your place. We come in and you just have blow up dolls
My
and
parents
like
have been there twice.
you probably have a fleshlight like in the couch cushions that you just lay on top of.
Just in the shower
You
on the
just-
wall.
Oh, you just pump
Someone's
right
idea.
into
I
it.
think Richie's a ghost. I think he's living in my apartment. I'm just
Ghosts.
unaware. Ghosts.
All right, so why don't we go into our picks for this week
All right.
before we go into some other stuff? What do you want to do? Who goes first? Richie, you pick. Who's going first? Me or Ralph? Ralph. Okay,
All right.
Ralph. Let me get
So-
my shit out.
I'm doing a little bit different this week.
Okay.
You're all ready?
Yeah.
So, up to this point, I've been giving you albums that I particularly really like or,
Okay.
mean something to me. I'm going to do a little different this week. I'm going to an album which I feel hasn't aged that well.
Okay.
What? Stop.
Okay. Okay, go on.
He's showing that he's interested.
Yeah, I'm intrigued.
He's not.
I'm
You should
listening.
feel happy about that.
I'm giving you the album. The band's name is 3.
3, like the number or the
Yeah,
word?
literally the number.
Okay.
And the album's called Wake Pig.
Wake pig?
Wake
pig.
Like
3.
like a wake for a pig, or like the wake is of pigs?
Huh, I never thought about it that way. I guess
Or you're waking the pig.
like I guess like low tide and there's just these pig bodies on the beach. Wake 3 is a new metal, progressive metal kind of Slipknot sort of genre.
All right, I'm
style.
listening.
A lot of heaviness, but they also have some complex breakdowns. They also have a lot of like Coheed influence, where like the high pitched voice, the complicated, almost epic sounding songs. I used to love this album when I was like, it came out in 2003, so maybe
so you were 14,
sophomore,
14, yeah.
And it was always one of those just like
Easy
must
you
listen.
put it on anytime and you enjoyed it.
So I started listening to it a few years ago, and I think it has aged terribly.
Okay.
I do
Are
not
they still
enjoy
together?
it. They're still together. They've become very corny. I haven't listened to them, but their album covers look very like.
Are they like Ghost BC?
No. This they're good musicians.
Okay.
And like they're not corny, but just some of the lyrics, like they sound cool when you're a little kid, but like.
So what I should probably do is, if let's say hypothetically, if I like the album,
I think you're gonna like it more than I do.
We revisit it like 10 episodes. I revisit it and see if it aged, or down the road if it's the same kind of thing where after so many listens I get sick of it.
It's a heavy album, and I think you're actually going to like it more than I do. That's my guess. There's some parts where the album's building a momentum, and you're like, this is what I'm waiting for. And then they take a left turn, and you go, "This didn't work."
I got you.
But they're great musicians, so there's
so
some value to that.
I can at least appreciate the craftsmanship of the music.
Definitely, probably closer to the type of music you like, your kind of metal, than my kind of metal.
Yeah.
But like I said, they also have like a Coheed influence, which sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Sometimes I really like Coheed. Other times I want to fucking rip out his vocal cords with that fucking high.
Going to album covers, I think it's one of the cooler album covers.
That is a cool album cover. I like
but then
that.
they changed it to this.
Why did they change it?
I don't know. They did a re-release, and it's just the number 3. So
Fuck them.
if you're gonna listen to it, I suggest only listening to it with that album.
The album cover is not going to change anything about the music.
I know.
All right, so that was 3 by Wake Pig. Now,
No, Wake Pig is the album. The band's 3.
Oh, I flipped it. Yeah, Wake Pig by 3. So we'll check that one out if you guys want to play along. I'm sure it's on Spotify, Apple Music.
It is.
All right, so now movie-wise, I had 2 sci-fi type action movies, and I'm not sure you've seen either of them. So the first one I'm going to recommend, and this is going back, a little callback to the Die Hard conversation just now when I said Joseph Gordon-Levitt should play
Looper.
Did you see Looper?
I saw part of Looper, but for all intents and purposes, I haven't seen Looper. Yeah.
So I'm going to give you Looper, starring Bruce Willis and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It's directed by Rian Johnson, who just did The Last Jedi,
6.
and he also another really
8.
great movie he did with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Not a lot of people have seen is Brick.
I loved Brick.
Okay, so that's Rian Johnson
Yeah,
also.
I saw Brick.
So the concept of Looper, it has some Terminator elements because it involves time travel. There's these people called loopers that go back in time to, they send people back in time to be killed by assassins in the past so that they're eliminated. No one in the present day gets their blood on their hands.
Cool.
And in this movie, the Bruce Willis's character is sent back in time to be killed by his younger self, who is Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And it looks just like a young Bruce Willis with the things they did to his face.
I remember when this came out, everyone was like, "How are they going to pull this off?"
It's awesome.
Yeah, it is really good.
You've seen Looper?
Yeah, I've
it's
seen it.
great.
Yeah, it's great,
Emily
man.
Blunt is awesome in it.
Yeah.
Emily Blunt's in it?
Yeah,
I love Emily Blunt.
the little girl, the little boy, he's
Boy,
great
yeah,
in it.
he's
It's
awesome in
such a mind fuck of a movie, but some of the sequences in it are really cool. I went in with knowing nothing about this movie when it came out. I just knew Bruce Willis and Joseph
Bruce
Gordon-Levitt,
Willis did a good job,
and I'm like,
too.
and
He's a badass.
it was definitely like a different take for Bruce Willis because it was not just him trying to kill bad guys all the time, but that obviously comes in because you can't have a Bruce Willis movie without him shooting at people.
Yeah.
It's not possible unless it's a Sixth
ahead,
Sense.
make my
And,
day.
and even in the Sixth Sense, he gets shot. So
Yeah.
he's
But in
getting.
this movie too, you kind of root for him and
Yeah.
like against him too, because
Well, it's because you're rooting for the
Yeah.
character, but 2 different versions of the character.
right. It's crazy.
So this was such an original concept in the movie. Like I said, it has the time travel elements from the Terminator, but they completely put a spin on it with the I guess you could say like supernatural. I don't know if it's like supernatural elements or
sci-fi.
mutant. Yeah, it's sci-fi
It's sci-fi.
action.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get Looper.
It's weird.
Almost everyone I know that's seen this movie.
I actually wanted to see
adores
Looper.
it.
I just forgot about
It's
it. So that's one. Cool.
yeah, so I'm excited for you to see this one. I'm excited to actually go back and watch it. I haven't seen it in a couple of years. I watched it when it first came out on Blu-ray, and then I watched it again like maybe a
Yeah,
year later.
good
So I'm
ending,
I'm excited. Yeah, it's just a really fun, tense, suspenseful movie. So I'm excited for you to see that one.
I'm excited for Looper.
All right, so why don't we
By the way, I did go ahead and make my day, and I realized that's Clint Eastwood, not Bruce Willis.
Yeah, why'd you say make my day?
Because I'm stupid.
Oh, that's another thing from the roast. The TSA guy from Get Out, he said straight up to Bruce Willis that when he says TS motherfucking A was lifted from Yippee-Ki-Yay, motherfucker. I'm like, that's fucking cool. So actually, I had a couple stories. Do you guys? I mean, Ralph and I have talked about McDonald's. I know you said you don't like fast food, right?
Yeah, I'm not
Bullshit.
a big fan.
I've seen you eat fast food.
I like once. It's once in a blue moon, and like really, if it's like if I'm going somewhere and I really have to eat, I'll do that. If it's
What do you normally eat?
Come.
Ass. I usually just eat in the morning and in the afternoon, but like
No, that's not a food. That's when you're eating.
in the morning, I have like 4 to 5 eggs. I have toast. I have cereal, oatmeal, cottage cheese, and shit like that. And then like at night,
There's no way he makes all that.
No,
I
agree.
Yeah, I know how to cook and all. And then at night I make like chicken. I do like beef. I do like grilled chicken too.
You're
I do
just
like
naming
lasagna.
foods.
No, I know how to cook, man.
Yeah,
I got one of those
You're not
fucking-
naming meals. You're naming foods.
Yeah, no,
I eat vegetables.
Yeah, vegetable. You do like I do spinach with you cut up bacon, you put tomatoes, garlic, and onions.
You know, you're right. You
That's
really
like
do
real
eat healthy.
fucking healthy for you. Yeah.
All right, so here's a nice story for you. This story comes from McDonald's in Canada.
God.
They had to issue an apology to a woman. A woman named Sarah Douglas, 31 years old. She's 8 months pregnant. And she was on her way to her son's baseball tournament. She stopped at McDonald's. She's like, I need a coffee. I need to pick me up. She ordered a medium latte. So after she was driving and she flips open the coffee and took a sip, she knew something was wrong. She's like, I feel like my mouth is burning. She immediately spat all of it out and she pulled off the lid and she realized it wasn't a latte at all. The cup was about 3/4 of the way full with a murky brown liquid. You could tell that it had been eaten away at it was eating away at the cup. They put cleaning solution.
What? On purpose?
No, they fucked up the lines from the coffee to the stuff they used to clean, and they were giving people cleaning solution. An 8-month pregnant woman.
Is she all right?
Yeah, it sounds like she was okay. She was so the latte machine was hooked up to a cleaning solution to remove milk residue. Is what happened. And the machine was being cleaned, as it is every morning. The milk supply line was connected to the cleaning solution while her drink was made.
Dude, that is
like,
bad.
That's a bad fuck up.
That's like a huge, like...
that kid's going to come out, brain damage.
Oh, yeah.
She's fucking
right?
swallowing Drano.
Dude, she's got a lawsuit, man.
Have you ever had anything happen to you at fast food where it was like something like... I mean, I think everyone's found like a fucking hair in their food.
I mean, I have... Can we name the place we went to?
I don't give a shit. Name whatever.
All right, so we had my friend, one of my friends came up with these 2 girls from East Rutherford.
Okay.
And we were
How
telling
did you
them
strike
about,
out with them?
Huh? No, they were. So we were telling them about. No, they were dating people and shit. But we were telling them about
sorry.
G&A. So we're telling them how good G&A is.
And then you go,
so this one girl, she gets a bagel. She gets like Taylor M, ham and cheese, whatever. She eats it, and all of a sudden she goes, "There's a piece of hair in my food." And I mean, dude, it wasn't like a piece of hair.
It was a chunk.
It was like a chunk.
A clump of hair? Like you get in the shower
she's like
drain?
Yeah. So she's like, this is a chunk. So we were like, that's fucking disgusting. So she like puts away. She's like, I'll go eat my other half. She goes to pick up the other half. They didn't give her a bottom piece to the bagel. So she goes and like complains to him, and the lady behind the counter would not fucking believe her that like there was a piece of hair and they didn't give her half her bagel. So like after like 10 minutes of fighting, the lady finally gives her a new bagel. She takes one bite. Dude, there was another fucking piece of hair in it. This girl just goes, "Fuck this place, I'm done." And I was like,
even if you thought you had a chance with the girl, it would have been gone with that.
Well, she was dating someone, and
Yeah,
I was
wasn't.
I was dating someone at the
She
time,
just told
too.
you she was dating
No,
someone.
I wasn't single.
Who were you dating at this point? Was it the
6.5?
6.5. How did that relationship go?
Huh? It was good, man. Like,
And then
it just
oh,
so cool.
Wait, which one
Honestly,
is
man,
6.5 right now?
the one, the bad one, the one that ended
the one
badly.
that ended bad.
Yeah, that
The one ended
she
bad.
left him for a kid we graduated with.
Oh,
And they acted like something wasn't going on the whole time.
yeah,
I
right.
actually have a really cool G&A story now that you brought them up. One time Josh and I were going to a Yankee game and we stopped at G&A on the way, and I needed to get cash out anyway, so I used their ATM. I'm like, I'm going to take out like $100. So I do it, ask for the money out. It prints out a receipt, tells me it gave the money, but it didn't give me the money. Gave me no money out of it, but it took it out of my account.
that.
I more or less held this place up. I just started screaming. Josh is sitting back there like, oh my God. I'm like, you fucking guys, I don't care if it's, he's like, it's the bank's ATM, it's not ours. I'm like, you're going to give me the money out of the register or we're going to have real problems. So he gave me the money out of the register.
Yeah.
And the best part, the next day, The money went back in my account anyway.
Did you give it back then?
Hell no.
They denied it. They didn't want to help me out. They were like, "Oh, just get your sandwich." I'm like, "With what?" Like, you fucking assholes. So I ended up $100 in the green because of that. So
that's a win-win, right?
I haven't gotten to G&A in a long
I
I'm not. I think G&A.
They went downhill.
It's an iconic place. I never really.
I only want it at 1 in the morning.
Yeah.
I don't ever want it
Coming
otherwise.
home from a concert or something.
Yeah,
like
well,
that,
now the concert tradition is you have to get Taco Bell on the way
Taco
back
Bell.
because Richie and I are going to a concert on Tuesday,
my
and we're
God,
absolutely getting.
By the way, can we remember how he doesn't eat fast food, but he's going, "Oh yeah,
Taco Bell."
I will say,
Well,
I had
Taco Bell, they say, is very
coming
healthy
back
for all
from
that fast food.
Warped Tour.
Yeah,
I
it's
had
healthy for fast food.
It's the
not
healthiest.
But
of
I get
them.
like 1 or 2. I don't get like fucking what? The last time
One time when we were going through the drive-through, the bill was $120, and we had a line going all the way to 23 at 1 in the morning, and then Richie honks his horn.
Who were you with?
It was me, Richie, Micah, and my sister.
Yeah,
it was us, and we got pulled over on the way, and there was like beer in the back. The cop comes on my side. He's like, "Dan, do you remember me?" I'm like, "No."
Dan's like,
He's
"No," and he goes, "I pulled you on the side."
He pulled me over like a few weeks prior.
I was like,
I got worried because I had gotten lippy with him right before that because he asked my sister, who was 16 at the time, for her ID. I'm like, she's a minor, she has no ID, and you don't need to be talking to her.
Because there were some beers, and he goes, "I see some are missing," and I told him, I said, honestly, I was like, I had a beer before the concert.
Yeah, we drank
it. Like, how long ago was that? I was like, I had one beer, and that was like 6 hours.
Yeah, it was like 7 o'clock.
Were you driving?
I was driving.
But he was also he went through Bloomingdale, and he jumped on Macapin coming from Bloomingdale, doing like 60 in the rain, and the cop's like, "You live around here, and you're driving like an asshole."
Did you ever hear the one when we went to Jimmy G's on 23?
No, what was this when Manfro's car got stuck?
No, when I went with I went with Manfro. There was like 4 of us, Eric, Scott, and RJ, and they're like, "Richie, can you drive us to Jimmy G's?" I go, "Yeah, of course." So we're driving, and dude, like 30 minutes later, Eric goes, he's like, "Where the fuck are we? We should be here by now." Manfro looks at my speed, down 23. Dude, I was doing like 20 miles per hour. I was baked. I was just baked.
Richie.
And I'm just looking around, and all of a sudden I'm like, holy shit, man. Like, dude, and it was like,
does your family know that you burn?
Huh?
Does your family know that you burn?
Oh, dude, I tell them all the time.
Okay, I was going to make sure because if they listen to this, I mean, besides me making fun of you, they'll just hate me more.
Even when I went to when I went to Europe, my parents had no idea I was going to Amsterdam.
Well, no one did, asshole.
No one knew everything else, so we were about to go, and I was like, "Mom, by the way," I was like,
"Was that a hide the pain trip?"
Yeah.
That was kind of like
therapeutic.
Yeah, therapeutic, but it was also
then Manfro beat him into therapy.
Yeah, but it was also
Manfro F5'd him into therapy.
For years, like the relationship I was in, we couldn't really travel, because
her work.
She was in school, she was getting her master's, so like. The plan was kind of like, listen, when you're done with school, we're going on a huge vacation. That's all I want to do. I always wanted to go to Europe. So, like, a bunch of other shit was going on, and one of my friends, he was, our friend John, he was stationed in Italy.
Oh, that John.
And he goes, dude, I just had a son. He goes, you should come out and visit him.
Oh, he let you around his child?
Huh? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't know why.
So he
wore
like,
the Borat bathing
fuck
suit.
This. And that's what it was. It was like, yeah, it was my way to get away, but it was also like, dude, I always wanted to travel.
No, I was pissed because we had bought tickets to a Mets-Pirates game like 3 months prior, and then 2 days before the game, I'm like, "So what do you want to do?" He's like, "Oh, I'm going to Europe tomorrow."
Yeah,
I'm like, "You fucking piece of shit!" And you were wearing that was when you
Slipknot and Korn concert like the night before too, and I was like, "These
yeah,
guys
you were
have
trying to
no
get me to go. You were like,
idea.
Richie abandoned us.
Yeah, Richie bailed
on
me.
I'm like, dude, I have work tomorrow.
I didn't even tell Manfro.
I know you didn't tell
only my parents knew. Yeah,
you didn't tell anyone, and then that was when you were in your that was a really dark time in your life because you were wearing that awful Fabrizio from Titanic, that stupid fucking hat.
Called me that.
Yeah, the Fabrizio from Titanic.
And they're like, "What should we call you?" And
no,
Dre was like,
it's Michaela.
Who's Michaela? Oh, Michaela.
Yeah, Michaela.
Well, you know, you could just say that
no,
name.
I'm blurring the lines.
Yeah, blurring.
But then it indicates to the audience that they're two different people.
Well, in your opinion. Don't worry about it.
Just beep it the whole time.
So Ralph, I have a couple other things. I don't know what else you have. I have a couple other stories.
I got a story that I read.
All right, what's the story? Let me hear it.
So the man with the longest fingernails.
He cut them.
He cut them.
I saw that. You remember that guy?
Is that the one from
Guinness Book of World?
Yeah. Pours the beer down it and he drinks it from it.
Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot about
fucking
that on
Steve-O
Jackass.
did that,
Dude,
man.
this guy. So
he was on Guinness Book of World Records back in the day when they had a show.
He sold them to Ripley's, believe it or not, and it sounds like he ran out of money and he just needed to make a quick buck.
Like, I don't understand what he did. Like, you can't make a career off look at my nails.
Yeah, right?
Well, his hands, because he had to hold it a weird way, his hands are all gnarled. Like, he can't open.
He probably gave himself carpal tunnel
hands.
terribly.
And I saw the video of him getting a cut, and Ripley's is painting it like, oh, this is happy. Look, this guy's life's work is now part of a museum. The guy looked down and was like, oh, it's all gone now. Like,
what does he
like
have
they were
to-
just exploiting this poor guy.
He's fully gonna
he's
kill
an
himself.
asshole.
Yeah, well, like I remember.
I hate people with records like that. Longest nails, didn't cut your hair,
didn't cut your hair. Most tattoos on your body.
Do you think that everybody in the world has a world record of like something? Like most pen caps chewed on or something like that.
I think everyone has their own like personal records, but like you're talking if they have their own world record.
Like a world record for something that doesn't matter.
That's not a record.
Yeah.
Kind of like having world's longest.
Like most time doing like this, like I'm tapping the desk. Like
I'm sure everyone has their own individual record. Like everyone.
No, not an individual record.
Okay, everyone has some type of thing that they do more than anyone else.
Or better than
for
anyone.
Richie, it's masturbating. So he's probably jerked off more than anyone alive.
Did you get a letter from the world record?
Yeah. Hey man, we know you've been dumping lots of seed. We can't keep up.
They handed over to him wearing gloves.
I actually get free tissues now. They send
tissues.
You know,
he ran out of socks and animals.
Rabbit fur.
Like rabbit? Why rabbit fur?
You ever see Grandma's Boy when he's like, I fucked my girlfriend? He goes, you mean that patch of rabbit fur you jerk off onto every night? He's
the
like,
Lara Croft doll. So here's one. This is a movie related.
Wow, shocker.
Yeah, well, we got to stay on theme somewhat. You talked about Minus the Bear last week. Robert Englund, guy that plays Freddy Krueger. They've been trying to do new Nightmare on Elm Street stuff for a while. They had that terrible remake a few years back with Jackie Earle Haley. And they've been talking about revitalizing the series. And the idea he came up with is the most intriguing to me. Now, Nightmare on Elm Street is my favorite of like the slashers. Freddy, I think, is the coolest. I love Halloween. I love Friday the 13th. But Nightmare on Elm Street is like the creme de la creme for me. His idea was because in your dreams, in these nightmares, you're supposed to see your biggest fear. So Freddy can technically manifest as anyone. Have for each character in the movie a different person play Freddy in their dreams, whatever their biggest fear is. So if like a girl was abused by her father, Freddy manifests as their father. If it's their boyfriend, if it's something from their if it's a monster they're afraid of, going off the Pennywise kind of thing. But then at the end, the climax of the movie, Freddy manifests himself, and it's Robert Englund. That is the pure version of Freddy, kind of like Pennywise's pure version is this entity. I think that to me is the most interesting idea, rather than someone try to recreate what Robert Englund did with Freddy Krueger, because I don't think anyone can get like the mannerisms like he had. Jackie Earle Haley did a pretty good job for what he was trying to do, but he wasn't tall, he wasn't lanky like Robert Englund is.
I think it's a cool idea on paper.
Yeah, but they'll fumble it, I'm sure.
Yeah, like I think that'd actually be a unique concept for a different movie theater. Like, I just wish it wasn't associated with
Freddy. Well, I would rather them try something different if they're going to redo the series or remake it than try it like with just one guy playing Freddy again, because they tried that once, and the truth was Robert Englund is so iconic as Freddy Krueger. Like I said, the voice, the mannerisms, the delivery. It's
like
really
the way he moves his arms when he walks.
You know who I thought when they were talking about remaking it, the only person, and my friend Jarvis suggested this, the guy that should play Freddy was Ryan Stiles from Whose Line Is It Anyway? Because he's lanky, he's awkward. I was like, he might actually be able to.
Man.
That's a weird one.
But
you know what would be a good idea for a movie?
What?
So they always
Richie gets killed. And that's a good idea for real life.
They always have those movies like blank versus blank. You know, Freddy versus Jason, whatever. Blank Man.
I love Blank Man.
Blank Man.
Oh my god.
But what if they did a movie where like you're in like a haunted house and each room's like a different killer? Like something where like it just let's throw all the shit together.
So you'd have like Chucky in one room.
Yeah, but I mean, this is just a loose idea. But like
horror movies, the Deadites from Evil Dead and things.
Horror movies are supposed to be. I'm not a huge horror movie fan, but like
experimental.
They're supposed to be experimental. They're supposed to be fun. There's a level of corniness to them, except for like the real horror movies. Like, why not just go all out and just throw them all together?
Well, I definitely love that idea. The problem is, as we learned with how long it took them to make Freddy vs. Jason, that Freddy vs. Jason was supposed to come out originally like 1993.
Yeah.
At the end of Jason Goes to Hell, when Freddy's glove comes up, it's really hard to mix these studios together. They tried making Freddy vs. Jason for 20 years.
I know, it's a pipe dream.
They tried making Ash versus Freddy vs. Jason, which I would have loved. I thought that
I would have liked
that.
Nice.
Did you guys watch the Evil Dead series at all? I know they have the whole series on Netflix now. You should. No, the series.
The series?
The Star series with Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, I saw. I haven't watched it.
It just ended recently. It's really funny. It's so over the top. It takes all the fun elements of Evil Dead and Army of Darkness. It's so much fun. But I think that's an interesting concept. And the other problem when you incorporate that many characters is that you see this in the comic book movies a lot. When there's too many villains, it's just like, okay, they're there. Who cares? They're there.
You know
Who cares?
Then then fuck it. Just throw it. Throw in the alien. Throw in Yoda. Like just throw everyone.
Throw in every like
Super Smash Brothers.
You can get like guidance from other characters. It's not a well. That's kind of. I mean, in some ways, that's like the concepts from Ready Player One, where it's all these different things. I think one movie that did try like all these different types of enemies was 13 Ghosts back in the day with Shannon Elizabeth.
Yeah,
that movie.
The guy that plays Monk.
The guy that played Monk, whose name I'm forgetting, and I like him too.
The crazy dude that played Shaggy.
Yeah, exactly.
The one that saw the ghost.
Yep, him.
Yeah.
He was in Scream, one of the killers.
I didn't see
13 Ghosts. It wasn't particularly great, but the ideas of it were really cool. Right? Like each room was holding a different ghost that they could only see with the certain type of device.
Right. But then they accidentally. There was some freaky shit with that,
there
too,
was
like the desperate wife or whatever.
Yeah, there were some wild ones, and then as the movie unfolds, it just gets out of control.
Yeah,
so,
right.
if they were going to do another Nightmare on Elm Street, which they, in all likelihood, they're going to because that's the way they go now. I think that concept of it's definitely borrowing from it quite a bit. With the idea, but if it's just a person wearing the sweater, the hat, the glove, but they look a little different, it definitely adds to the element of the person's fears because they see their father that they had a bad relationship with and he's burned and he has these weapons and he's coming at you. That would definitely enhance the fear that character is feeling.
Definitely.
So I think that concept is pretty cool. And I had one other story. I don't know if you had anything else, Ralph.
I'll just save it for my my hot take.
Okay, so
because I think it's good. I think it's going to be a little bit of a longer hot take.
Yeah, mine as well. Well, first off, do you guys how do you feel about plastic straws?
Oh my God!
Why is this a thing?
You know how I feel about. I'm a social justice warrior, except with the environment.
Yeah, exactly. Ralph
sell me all your plastic straws.
Yeah, Ralph takes his plastic.
I'll flush him down the toilet.
He goes down the shore and just dumps it in the ocean, and he's like, "Die, sea turtles."
I shove corks into the blowholes of dolphins. I've had it.
Well, dude, I went to Warped Tour, and the person I went with.
Taylor?
Okay.
He's been on the show twice.
So we were online. We were getting stuff. We were talking to these ladies like behind the concession stand.
Getting it in. Go on.
Dude, they were like old, but like
okay. And
them and Taylor, like, dude, they were having this nice conversation. All of a sudden, he goes, "I love plastic straws, dude."
Taylor said that.
They just went like completely to happy to like, what the fuck is your problem? Like, it looked like they were about to jump over and kick his.
Why
ass.
is this like? No one was upset about it till like. When they were told they needed to be upset about it.
Well, okay, so this is what's so funny about it. Banning the plastic straws is stupid considering the United States is responsible for less than 5% of the plastic in the ocean. And it's... The thing that is driving me nuts now is on the other side of the coin, the people that are like, oh, the libs are taking our straws. They're posing pictures. These people are taking pictures with their guns and the straw, like owning the libs. Shut the fuck up.
Dude, come on.
Like, and the other thing is, and this is my point, what are disabled people going to do if they don't have straws?
Yeah, right?
Like,
yeah, they need that.
It's in 50 years from now, when the history books are talking about what led to the Second American Civil War,
plastic straws.
3D printed guns and plastic straws, like that's what led to it.
And a reality TV star who somehow talked his way into being president.
Well, that might happen again for all we know.
Yeah, right.
So that one was dumb, and the other story is you guys love a good Florida man story, right? Everyone loves what happens in Florida.
The Florida man Twitter is maybe one of the best Twitter.
With all the news stories they post. So I saw there's a great video. You guys can look it up. Just type in Florida man alligator. This guy got arrested, and he has no recollection of it, but there's surveillance footage of him. He chased people throughout like a convenience store with an alligator while he was drunk, and no one knows how he got the alligator. And there's an interview with him. He's like,
he doesn't remember.
I don't really know where I got the alligator from. I was really, really drunk, and apparently I was chasing people around with an alligator. Like,
doesn't even remember it.
Florida is such an interesting state because the further south you go, it gets younger and just more white trash.
Yeah,
the more north you go and say central to Florida, the older it gets, and just people from up north that move down there.
There's a few states that have just their own. Like Louisiana is its own thing. Florida is its own thing.
Alabama,
Mississippi.
But Alabama, Mississippi, all of them, I think you can lump those together as just like South. But like Florida, you will find things in Florida that you will only find in Florida.
I hate Florida.
I love
I've
Florida.
had just horrible experiences in Florida.
Well, where'd you go in Florida?
Huh? No, I've been to Disney World.
Yeah, you've been to Orlando.
But I've been to like
the Keys are amazing. The Florida Keys are beautiful.
Gorgeous.
The Keys are great.
I forgot where my sister was
Port
staying.
St. Lucie is really nice.
I was in Stuart, Florida for a month.
Stuart's not bad though.
Yeah,
Stuart,
but in that program thing, so it was
oh,
different.
Of course. Yeah, well, Stewart, it's the same time my brother lives in. You were right outside where my brother is. My brother actually lives in Stewart.
Yeah.
So
it was, oh my God, it was just, dude, it's so fucking hot, man.
It's, well, yeah, that's the thing. The humidity
and the front door, it's sunny, and the back,
I don't mind.
raining.
Like, someone was telling me a story recently. Like, they were in Florida and they're laying down, and then they freaked out because a little lizard was running through the house. I'm like, they don't bother you.
I will shove a plastic straw down a lizard's throat.
Oh my! Shut up! You will not.
I don't know if he knows. I almost got in a lot of trouble in Florida.
Yeah, well, you held up like a.
You hear the story with the van
when he was getting taken care of after Manfro put him into a program.
So to get from our house to the location, they would take you in a van.
Rehab.
Wait,
it had,
is that why you hate Florida?
No. So no, it was fun. So we're going to the program, and it's a van, obviously with tinted windows. So me thinking it would be funny.
I know.
Wait, you can't hear me?
I know. You can't hear me.
Oh, so funny to hang out a sign that said "Help us." So I hang it out the window, and the stupid fucking couple next to us thinks it's serious. So they pull up to say something to the driver. And our driver has no clue this is going on. Now he's this big black dude, and this dude next to him is this jacked muscle dude.
I fucking hate this story.
So
he's not gonna get laid ever.
So they pull up and tell this guy, "Hey, like pull over." This dude fucking rolls up the fucking window and then starts taking off. So they end up pulling up behind us, and the driver taking pictures of the license plate. I'm sticking my hand out the window trying to go like, "Dude, cut it out, cut it out." We get probably like 2 blocks from the center, and this cop pulls up behind us. So I'm thinking like, fuck, dude, we're about to get pulled. You guys are such dicks.
Wait till you hear this back.
Yeah. So I was like, fuck, we're about to get pulled over. So
let's just give him heroin.
We take the turn to pull into the center, and the cop passing us. So I'm like, thank fucking God. Out of nowhere, this fucking undercover cop comes and pulls over. These dickheads are leaving. So they pull us over, and I'm like, fuck, man. So we end up getting pulled over and shit like that. And then the cop obviously has to come out. He has his hand on his fucking gun, and like I'm all scared shitless and stuff like that. And everyone in the car is like, dude, you're going to fucking jail, man. So yeah, the dude ended up coming, and he was like, is everything all right? And I was scared shitless. I was like, yeah, man, my bad. I was like, I thought it'd be funny to hang a sign out the window that said help us. So he goes, we don't kind of take that joke around here. They actually ended up having like 15 cars looking for us, and I don't know if he was messing with me or not, but the dude was like, we were about to send out a helicopter to find you. So I was actually pretty lucky. Some dude from the center was out front smoking a cigarette, and he ended up coming over, and he had to talk to the cops. And I was able to kind of get at it because he was like, dude, this is a good kid. He just did something stupid, and they understand the program we're in. So that ended up happening. But I ended up getting in a lot of trouble. I almost had to get sent home. I had to call my fucking parents. You guys are dicks. Yeah, I had to call my parents and tell them what happened. And then at the end, like the last week, I had to go up to apologize. But like, of course, when I was apologizing, I had to fucking smile and shit like that.
All right, so let's get into our hot takes.
Right.
So our hot takes. I don't know who wants to go first.
I'll go first. Okay,
go for it.
This week. Okay, so up until recently, we talked about. Hey,
no, it's fine. It's fine. At this point, we're good.
Okay. So we talked about previously how it took T.O. so long to get in the Hall of Fame.
I just watched the Football Life about T.O. the other night. I'm on his side, by the way.
I think everyone is in agreement.
On his side, too.
Not attending?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this is my issue with him. I really don't give a shit that he attends. I think the Hall of Fame's being kind of douchey, not announcing him. But he keeps saying that he's taking a stand for all the people. Like, basically, he's implying that he's doing the Colin Kaepernick, doing what everyone else wants to. Here's the thing.
Well, I never said he was bright.
Here's the thing. Right. No one's complained about this before him.
Yeah.
This hasn't been an issue, and not a single player has come up and said, you know what, T.O.'s right. Jerry fucking Kramer waited 50 fucking
Ray
years.
Guy.
Yeah, right.
Ray Guy, they went, okay, that's great. T.O., I get it. You got snubbed.
He should have been in first ballot.
And it's first ballot, and it doesn't matter. And you know what? If you want to do that, that's great. But don't act like you're carrying this movement on your shoulder.
Don't martyr yourself.
You're just being a little fucking pussy. This isn't for players. This is for T.O.
Correct. And the thing that I'll say, I just watched that Football Life about him the other night, which it's a very it's uneven just because I totally understand why T.O. is the way T.O. is, but he doesn't. He's so unaware that he gets in his own way half the time. He just his opinion. And let's be fair about T.O. here. For all the shit he gets, he was never a criminal. He was never a thug.
No.
He was just a very emotionally.
Did he get arrested?
No,
yeah,
he never.
Was say, there was no. Yeah,
it was the same.
Randy Moss definitely got into because the two are always linked together. Randy Moss seemed like he was going down a really bad path.
Yeah.
But somehow Randy Moss is almost like beloved now.
Randy Moss just
made
was another one. He just made because he's a media darling now.
Randy Moss used to get arrested though.
Oh yeah. Early his career, Randy you that 30 for 30. But T.O., I mean, what he's doing here goes in line with almost his entire career decisions every single time, and I understand why he's doing it. I do think that I think the fact that he didn't go in first ballot is a goddamn travesty. It's absolutely absurd that Brian Urlacher won in first ballot and Terrell Owens didn't. Because I don't think Brian Urlacher is necessarily a Hall of Famer. I was
surprised about that.
Has some great years.
He's a Hall of Famer, but he's not.
He shouldn't have gotten in first ballot.
But here's the thing. Here's the deal, though. You're not leading a movement. No one is joining.
No one is saying, we're standing up against the voters. So everyone knows the Hall of Fame. Every Hall of Fame is very political because it's not the NFL making decisions.
Mickey Mantle had to wait 3 or 4 years. Joe DiMaggio to get on.
It's not like real people voting you in.
It's the writers that hold grudges, and they base it off beliefs rather than they base it off with Mike Piazza that we think that he was on steroids despite no links whatsoever. There's just accusations.
It's bullshit. But we know who's a first ballot.
Yeah, of course.
T.O.'s a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Terrell Owens is one of the no worse than one of the 5 best receivers I've seen in my entire life.
Yeah, right.
When he could probably still play for some teams in the NFL. The shape that guy is in, he was never like Randy Moss would get out of shape and lazy. Terrell Owens was never ever lazy. You know when it was game time, he wasn't quitting.
He used to work out in his driveway.
Dude, if you could watch that Football Life about him,
I saw it. It was good.
All those Football Lives are amazing. I had to turn off the Ray Lewis one.
He goes in the pool every morning. And sits for like
I had to turn off the Ray Lewis one because I cannot deal with any sort of praise for that guy at all. Richie, so that's your hot take. Do you have a hot take? Anything? It could be anything. Like something. I have one for you. We talked about this on Twitter, so I'm going to give you one. There's some Madden controversy.
Oh my god.
So why don't you talk about the Madden controversy? So what happened?
I'm all like they took Colin Kaepernick's name out of one of the songs.
The lyrics, from a Big Sean song, I think it was.
Big Sean song, and he was actually tweeting something too. He's like, dude, you didn't give me permission.
You didn't ask my permission to edit my song.
And I was like, I was all for it. I think
because he's caused the NFL a lot of grief,
a lot of griefs and everything. And my kind of thing is like, I get he did stuff, but I feel like he could kind of.
Yeah, it's like he's
do more, and I'm like, do it during your own time.
Like,
I have no
which
problem.
He is now.
I have no problem.
I don't like what he does, but
if you say, hey, I don't disrespect the flag, but don't do it during football.
Yeah, sure.
But so I was all for it, but like Dan even brought up a good point. By the NFL doing that in Madden, he kind of came a topic again.
Yeah, it became a story.
Dude, I honestly have not. People talk about the kneeling thing, but no one people have come up to me and gone, "What do you think about the players kneeling?" But they've never been like, "What do you think of Colin Kaepernick?"
Yeah,
no one talks about him.
And
they brought him back into the spotlight.
Exactly, and the thing that the cover up here now is so funny. EA is saying that they removed it because he's not with the NFL Players Association. He's not in the league, so they didn't know if they had the rights to use him at all. But that's bullshit because they're filing a grievance with him.
Yeah.
He's technically a free agent, so the NFL told them take his name out of there. And apparently they did it last season, and they didn't make it a story, but they made it a story this year. The NFL cannot handle anything correctly.
They trip over everything that they do. They do the wrong thing. All these new rules.
Yeah,
I didn't even watch the game, but apparently the first preseason game was just
there was one flag specific. I'm not worried about that because every time there's some new set of rules,
they go heavy-handed.
Go heavy-handed, then it balances out.
Just getting
I'm more worried
it.
about them being very inexperienced refs this year because all the big name refs retired.
But the issue is they don't. It's always something new.
They only make reactionary decisions. They don't make decisions based on thought and critical thinking, anything like that.
They can't get a fucking catch right.
No, they can't. Well, I'm hoping that one they have fixed this year. But yeah, the whole thing.
I doubt that they did because it's the NFL.
I have no faith in them either. I did see a funny video last night that said, went back to playing old Madden and look what they did to Colin Kaepernick, and it was them running 60 yards with him, but with a black bar over it. So, all right, we'll get to my hot take now, and I'm gonna give you guys 2 numbers, 25 and 4. 25 to 4. What am I talking about when I say 25 to 4?
I don't know.
What team lost by a score
of
the
25 to 4?
Wait, I thought we weren't allowed to do Mets hot takes anymore.
This isn't really a hot take. It's more of a rant here.
Dude, I turned it off when it was 13-0, and when I saw it was 25-0, I was
okay.
Like,
so
dude.
I had gotten home late that day, and I was like, I'm going to put on the game. Landlord was doing something. She was away. We were going to watch something after. I put on the game, and within the first inning, it was 3-0, and I'm like, we were going to watch that HBO show, Sharp Objects, and I keep the game on my phone, but I'm like, they're losing 3-0 to the Nationals. They're not winning. I was like, I waited half hour, and I look at my phone. I'm like, it's fucking 10-0. Like, what's happening here? Scored 3 runs in the first, 7 in the second. I'm like, all right, it can't get much worse. And I look at my phone 10 minutes later. It's 13-0. I'm like, all right, come on. I can deal with the 13-0 blowout. Then I look and it's 16-0. I'm like, all right, come on, what the fuck? They scored at least 3 runs. They went 3-7, 3-3, 3-3.
Yeah, right, dude.
And I'm just like, come on. So it's and then I people are complaining that the players at the end were like sitting there laughing and smiling, losing 25-4. I don't like the optic of that either. Like, Jose Reyes became the first player ever to give up 2 home runs and then hit 2 home runs the next day because he pitched.
Yeah, I knew that was bad when he had to pitch.
They've
been doing that a lot this season with just position players.
There's a Twitter account that is tweeting out every time a position player pitches. They've been doing it since last season. Last season was only like 5 times. They hit 5 times in the first month of the season. So they're going into this hot take. It's I think as a Mets fan, every time there's a bad season, I'm just like, oh, it's another Mets season. I need that one game, that one loss that reminds me that I chose this, that this is what I signed up for, that I still am loyal and love this team and will defend them when they need to be defended. But how the fuck can I defend 25-4? Yeah, it was excruciatingly painful. But and of course I got a ton of texts and tweets and Facebook messages.
Notice I didn't.
You did not because that's what I'm going to go to. You're not a dick about it. Because I rip on the team as much as you, but I got a ton of texts, calls, tweets, messages from Yankees fans running their mouth. And they did the same thing when Noah Syndergaard got hand, foot, and mouth disease, and then what happened to Jay? He got like, oh, the Mets get him with foot, mouth disease. So I was very annoyed that people were messaging me. Like, I get the team sucks. I'm not one of these Mets fans that talk shit on the Yankees. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I fucking am rooting for them 90% of the time. And then the Yankees played the other night. And I don't know. So I have opinions on this in football and baseball. I would rather get blown out in any sport, my team get destroyed, than have a lead to especially a division rival, and then have it unravel into a complete and total blowout. And it seems like the Mets and Yankees this year more than ever, in some ways, they're getting this weird karma going back and forth. It's the hand, foot, and mouth disease, and then getting blown out by the Red Sox. But people are also shitting on the Yankees. Like, they still have the 3rd best record in baseball. They're probably not winning the division, but there's still a lot of time left. But the Red Sox are... They're going to win 110 games.
Yeah, they're on fire.
But going back to the Mets, I mean, they lose 25-4. They can't score. I mean, they score 4 runs when they lose by 21, and they can't score more than 1 run for Jacob deGrom in any start. He's the first pitcher in 102 years, 102 years, to have a sub 500 record with a sub 1.8 ERA. That is I can't even fucking comprehend how they can do that to this fucking poor guy who pitches his ass off every time. One of their, if not their best homegrown pitcher since Doc Gooden, probably. I could say that honestly since he came to the team.
Definitely.
It's not even close. He does everything right. He drove in his only run last night when he lost 2-1, and fucking it's the poor guy is going to go 5-11 with a 1.6 ERA. And 225 strikeouts, and the lowest whip in the league. And I'm an asshole because I'll still think maybe they'll score him some runs today. They're going to play today, and they're going to score 6 runs in the first inning, and Jacob deGrom's going to be there fucking off with his finger in his ass. At this point, I would just be throwing games. Maybe if I give up 6 runs, they'll score 5.
Yeah, right.
Fucking score 1 run for him every game. Fucking no one on the team does anything. And Callaway just I understand that he's a rookie manager.
Dude, Callaway sucks. Can you admit that Callaway sucks?
No, he sucks this year, but he's also a rookie manager that doesn't have a fucking... Aaron Boone probably would do the same thing with this Mets team.
But Aaron Boone's not in the same...
Okay, yeah, he doesn't have $120 million on the disabled list. I don't care who the manager is, but Callaway sucks. Don't get me wrong. I have not seen him manage away 10 games.
Callaway hasn't done the right thing.
Okay, what would the right fucking thing be then? What would the right thing be? Legitimately, you don't have an answer.
Take another job.
You're saying it's easy because they suck.
He doesn't say the right thing.
No, I agree he doesn't say the right thing.
When
He's
you
had
take
some
a job...
terrible...
Okay. Take a deep breath.
Yeah, no.
When you take
this is my hot take, not yours. I'm not taking a deep breath.
You're managing the media is part of a New York job.
I agree with that.
And he has gotten an F.
Of course he has. But he also doesn't have Brian Cashman telling him what to say every time like Aaron Boone does.
He's got 3 guys telling him.
No, and the New York media is brutal.
And exactly.
If they
Aaron
hate you,
Boone
they hate
doesn't have
you.
an opinion of his own, and you know that for a fact.
I don't care. All I care is
he's a puppeteer. I would rather have a puppeteer as a GM than fucking the situation the Mets have. And again, I'm giving Mickey Callaway an F- 100%. But I'm not the guy that's saying fire the guy after 1 year, because you can't can't fire a guy that lost Cespedes, that has had Conforto up and down, that lost Syndergaard for weeks, that had Matt Harvey, that had Steven Matz, that had Jerry's Familia get hurt, that had the only guy that stayed healthy was Asdrubal Cabrera, Todd Frazier, who never gets hurt, Jay Bruce, who never gets hurt, gets hurt. All these guys get hurt. It doesn't make any sense. I've seen seasons where there were injuries before. I've never seen the way injuries have happened. Todd Frazier has never played less than 150 games in his career. He hits the DL twice for more than 2 weeks. The team is fucking on an Indian burial ground, or the Wilpons were dealing with Auschwitz. I don't know. There's some kind of bad karma that happens to this dog shit fucking franchise. And again, Mickey Callaway stinks. I get it. He sucks. I don't want to see him smiling. I want to see him yelling at people 25-4. But Terry Collins would have the same fucking record as Mickey Callaway with the dog shit that's happened this year. 100%. Why is it that Jacob deGrom is having the best season of his career with Mickey Callaway? Do we give him credit for that?
No.
Why not? He had a 3.5 ERA this year, and he's sub-2 this year. Does Mickey Callaway get credit for that?
No.
Does he get credit for Brandon Nimmo coming out of nowhere and being top 10 in every important stat for a leadoff hitter?
No.
Does he get credit for Ahmed Rosario coming on later this season? That's the thing. We can't give him all the blame and no credit at all when things are going right in some ways. They don't have a bad starting rotation. They have no bullpen. That's not Mickey Callaway's fault that they signed nobody. And Anthony Swarzak, who was great his entire career, now fucking stinks. And AJ Ramos gets hurt, who's never been hurt. And Jerry's Familia isn't beating his wife up, but he's getting hurt and he stinks and blows big games.
Not beating his wife.
Yeah, like what? Ah! Tired of it.
So I guess you could say you're taking the season in good fun.
Yeah, I'm really excited for football.
Oh, I'm sure that'll be great for you.
The football will be good for me. I'm actually feeling pretty good about things.
We'll do football shows.
Yeah, well,
closer.
I think
Are
we're
we still doing our fantasy league for the show?
I have to talk to Brian about that, and I had a because the weekend we're going to your bachelor party is that Sunday is the first weekend of football, I believe, as well.
Yeah, that's Sunday.
So I think everyone's going to want to get back decently early, which you kind of have to do in AC anyway.
Yeah.
And I think we're gonna put a projector in here. And we're going to watch football in here, Richie, just so you know. And I think we should record during that, like certain segments, different parts. But I think that'll be a lot of fun.
I've been researching the shit, because I won my fantasy team last year. I've
done no research fantasy football.
I'll carry the draft then.
Yeah. I mean, I have a general idea just because I know players and what they're going to do.
But I have depth charts and I got this.
I'm not concerned with that.
Do you do printouts or do you write it?
I do everything. I subscribe. I run mock drafts. I print it. I have a magazine. I invest into fantasy football.
All right, now before we wrap up, and actually, we still have to hit you in the head with a belt.
Also, I want to drink my rainwater.
All right, drink your rainwater. Go, and then we'll hit you in the head with a belt.
This is gonna be a bust.
You're drinking rainwater. What does it taste like?
Water.
I hope you get a fucking worm or something.
But wait.
Oh yeah.
Do you hear that? Do you hear that? That's my muscles just getting stronger and stronger from the vitamin.
Let's do this.
B12.
Where do you want to get hit in the head?
In the head. I don't
but
know.
where on the head? Like the forehead, the top of the head?
How do you do it?
Do you want to hit him?
No, I want you to. Unless you want me to.
No, Richie.
Wait. I got a question. How hard can I hit you?
Richie, who has better insurance so when I can sue you?
Richie.
I definitely have better insurance.
Richie, I trust you.
All right. You gonna stand up? Okay. I'm gonna record this.
Okay. Richie, I'm a girl.
Wait, Ralph. Can you hold your microphone so we can hear the thud on your head?
You might want to take your hat off, man.
Yeah.
Let me have the hat. Okay.
All right.
I am a female. I want to go on a date with you.
That's bad. We're encouraging violence against females.
Damn it.
Yeah, go ahead. All right, let's see.
All right, you ready?
Give him a good thud.
Hold on 1 second.
Oh, what are you doing?
In case I fall.
Oh, yeah, good idea. Move the couch out of the way so you hit the ground. All right, I'm sitting down while Ralph. Go ahead, Ralph. This is a WWE Championship belt.
How hard do you want me to go?
Just
give him like a 50%, a good
50?
shot,
Okay.
a good shot.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Ready, set.
Oh.
All right, I think we're done.
Winner by disqualification. Yeah! And now with a grade 3 concussion. That was loud. All right, we're gonna wrap this up for you. Watch I listen. I'm Dan Perozzi.
All right.
And thank you, Richie, for sitting in with us.
The champion Ralph just experienced.
All right, we got to take a picture now with Ralph concussed. Later, guys.
Oh!